This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Did you time it so that I didn't know you could do that. I thought it just automatically did it whenever you came into the channel and it was time. How'd you time it like that? I'm doing what? I'm streaming during what? I'm streaming during the same time that the Troll Patrol comes on every night. Good evening. Welcome. It's the Troll Patrol Live. 8 p.m. Eastern like it is every goddamn night. I don't even know what to say. I don't care. The only reason I'm even on is interest is up because of Trump. Justin's interest in doing this show is down. Probably because of seasonal depression, the fact that it's too fucking cold. My water is returning to me. I noticed that as I was getting ready for the show. I was able to turn the water on and let Maynard take some drinks out of the sink. It's still just a trickle, and I don't even have hot water yet. But hopefully, we didn't even get above freezing today, so it's a wonder. It's a wonder that I have any water, so I'm happy for what I have. Hopefully tomorrow my water will be flowing again. I can take a shower. It's just a wild situation. Good evening, welcome. We got news. What's that news doing? Elon's a Nazi. They're rounding up immigrants. Trump said some stupid shit. CIA director was sworn in. The ADL embarrassed itself. What's new? Is what's new, right? A man in a satanic mask spotted on neighborhood cameras is apparently some kind of Christian walking around giving out flyers. A controversial puppet is being pulled from a museum in Chicago. Oregon man has been arrested for impersonating a firefighter. Seven cops were shot in succession. So I'm hoping one went in, got shot, and then the other one was, I'll save you, and ran and got shot, and then it was I'll save you, with some Benny Hill music playing in the background. Lenny, Torchy, good evening. I prefer the, was it Katie Lang? The Constant Craving over Constant Chaos. A much better song. Michael, good evening. It's supposed to be 53 degrees in January here. That's supposed to be my high. Is it? I did not know that was going to pop up. Is it lying if I don't show you Smokey? I don't even see him. It's possible he's just blending in with the blanket over there. Smokesters. I got so pissed at him this morning. All the other cats were laying with me. Smokey would not come get in bed with me. And I think I even said some mean shit to him. This is when I woke up at 8 something this morning. I go back to bed. When I wake up a couple hours later, he's fucking cuddled right in my arm. Usually where socks is. I was like, "Aw, buddy, I love you." Must have hurt his feelings. He hurt my feelings. After Grandma found out she can sell her perks. We got footage of the Hughes fire in California. Also, other fires have broke out since. An ice wall the size of Rhode Island is headed towards a Penguin Island. I don't fucking... The corpse flower is blooming. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome. I don't even know why did I start with that. That's not even your meme of the day. That's not your meme of the day. This thing that I missed during all the inauguration celebrations on Monday. This is your meme of the day. Here's Trump dancing with a sword. Tell that to my dad, Lenny. No, you can't. He's dead. He OD'd. Yeah, things are a little bit different than the mid-2000s when I came up. That's a cake, right? He's going to cut that cake with a sword. Soup, my lord. Why'd I make it depressed? How'd I make it? I'm like depressed. Sorry, my bad. Girl of the Gray. Good evening. Oh, my dad. I didn't like my dad. When he died, I'd been estranged from him for a good 10 years. The last thing I ever said to him was I'd called my parents' house and he answered. And I was like, give the phone to mom. Nobody wants to talk to your stupid ass. And he apparently threw the phone at my mom. So that was the last thing I ever said to him. I had tried, this was before COVID, I tried to get my mom to kick him out of the house. And I was like, I can't remember the offer I made her. It was something like, I'll pay the mortgage and the car payment. You pay insurance. And we'll split taxes or something like that. Oh, Soup, that sounds exactly like him. I was like, go ahead, gig him out. And she's like, he won't have any place to live. I was like, I don't give a shit. I was like, however I proposed it to her, I think it was, I'll take over the car payment. I'll pay the mortgage. We'll split the taxes on the house. And you pay insurance on the car. I think that was because if she's got the insurance, it's cheaper. And I thought that was a pretty fucking fair agreement. Cause like I'd already traded in my car, and like my mom, if she drives, like she would be driving from 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Like, that's like... She would be home by 3 or 4. So, the car would be available to me when I would want to go out, which would be of an evening. So, I was like, it's perfect for us. But no. Do you like how I just keep letting this play? Kick him out. I don't know. My mom loved him, I guess. I don't know. It seemed to really affect her after he died. One day of rain in January. Damn, Michael. Got some dry conditions. That's about as dry as Melania's pussy. Looking at her husband. You like that one? I feel sorry for all the staff around these people. Like, just the rank and file soldiers off to the side are all more intelligent than this dumb fuck. Every single one of them more qualified to run this country than this dumb fuck. That dumb fuck was back at it today, signing a shit ton of executive orders, also taking questions from the press, so you know it was a wild ride. That's what we're going to watch. He took questions at Davos as well.
Very important in just about every case.
He spoke virtually from Davos, or at Davos.
Do you want to? Yeah, Mr. President, this is an executive order on crypto. We're going to be
on crypto.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. This is an executive order on AI. We're basically
a different scam.
Announcing the administration's policy to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Well, Soup, during his first administration, I was like, shit, maybe I should try to get a job at the White House. Standards have never been lower.
AI, most respected probably there is. So that should take us to the forefront, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like that's a bad thing, my lord. Not for you personally.
Okay. Thank you. And this, David, is?
Yeah, this is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working.
I like the way you said that, girl.
Make America the world.
The goddamn canyon.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to see this a lot during this administration, aren't we?
David, that's
him just free balling in the Oval Office, yakking with reporters and shit.
You find them exciting? They might not be excited, but they're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check.
You'll make a lot of money for yourself.
Like this guy. They said, how did you get David Sachs? How did you do that? And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
I mean, his supporters left shit stains on the halls of Congress.
Central Commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good.
Oh God, you can tell this dude's a loser. Oh, what's it? That's a plum-colored tie.
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry.
That's odd for Trump
as well
here.
as,
He's
educational institutions to make sure that America maintains its leadership position.
stepping out a little bit from his usual colors.
In the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Yeah, for me, that's actually a nice tie. I like it.
Memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including
Usually he has the ugly ass red tie on.
promote federal recognition of the
He's a fan of the blue.
North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe.
I guess we're warming up to him or something. Like, hey, that's a nice tie. But also, look, that looks like a nice shirt.
Okay.
And if you'd like, I could get them that.
It's a Sharpie.
Let's do that.
He's signing it in Sharpie. That's why it makes the god-awfulest noise while he's signing.
Peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Okay, so this is the pro-life protesters. We're going to talk about this here in a little bit.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted.
Yeah, they broke the law.
Many of them are elderly people.
They were harassing women outside of an abortion clinic.
This is a great honor to sign this.
His hands are that fucking tiny. That's why you'd think he wouldn't have such a huge goddamn pen.
They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy,
We're going to talk about that one in a little bit here, too.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh?
Yeah, why didn't you do it your first term?
Long for years. For decades.
Like, wait a minute. Didn't you actually block the release of most of the documents in your first term, if I remember correctly? Or had Biden already taken over when that happened?
Give that to...
Because, like, I feel like they were set to be released 2017, 2018 or something, and there was action taken to prevent them. Yeah, release the Epstein docs.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocked the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And
What's wrong with Seattle?
it's with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
No. And no surprises there. It's too bad. You know, it's the way it is. Too
I
bad.
believe he needs the 60 votes, doesn't he? So that sinks his nomination.
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thur. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government.
He needed all of the Republicans and a few Democrats.
Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Finn support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John. We'll see. And John Thune's a great guy, great senator, knows his stuff inside out and backwards. But I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Great.
And they said $600 billion they're going to invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said you're going to ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be the first foreign country you will visit since they invest in that much
Well,
money?
if they do that, I would, yeah. I would be glad to do that. I did it, as you know, 4 years ago. We did $450 billion, meaning the money all goes to American companies, and they purchase jets and they purchase computers and everything else. And we did $450 billion, and I guess we're at 650. And I'll see if I can talk him into
I don't
it.
think it is again. You showed great confidence in Steve Witkoff. Why you said that
Fucking Witkoff.
ceasefire in Gaza will hold since they
Real estate developer, by the way.
Great, but it's a very tricky place. It's very tricky. We'll see. And if something does happen, they will not be happy.
Sir, follow up on that one. In terms of Steve Witkoff, are you going to put him in charge of Iran's strategy, and do you want him talking directly with the Iranians?
No, but he's certainly somebody I would use. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great negotiator. He's a very good person, a very popular person. Gets along with people. I have great negotiators. They have no personality whatsoever.
What?
Some that do. Steve has a wonderful way about him, and people like him. And even in this case, both sides like him. And he was able to make a deal. That deal would have never been made without Steve. The Biden people couldn't make the deal. They were working on it for a year and a half. They couldn't make a deal.
No, they weren't.
Prior to the inauguration. We said it has to be before the inauguration. I mean, the deal should hold, but if it doesn't hold, there'll be a lot.
I mean, the deal you made holds.
IEO, just hours after you made that big Stardate announcement, Elon Musk tweeted that they don't actually have the money. Is that true?
I don't know if they do, but they're putting up the money. The government's not putting up anything. They're putting up money. They're very rich people, so I hope they do. And I mean, Elon doesn't like one of those people, so.
Are you worried that AI is going to replace many American jobs? Does that worry you?
No. It's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other.
Who does Elon not like?
Huge positive impact. And
I want to hear the tea.
China. David Sachs is one of the all-time experts. You know, that people are amazed that you just met him. I don't know if he's still here. There he is. But one of the most respected
Oh, yeah.
in that world. It's a world. It's a whole different world. And we're ahead of China now because of what I'm doing. And I think it's going to be very successful.
Mr. President, please, you just asked the Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do
I
you think it
don't
should also
think so.
apply to the United States?
We're protecting them, you know. They're not protecting us. We're protecting them.
Davos?
I don't think we should be spending. I'm not sure we should
NATO.
be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%. Yeah.
Mr. President, you said earlier during your speech at Davos that you would like to see interest rates come down. How
Yeah.
much would you like to see them come down?
A
And
lot.
will you talk
I'd
with
like to see
Powell?
them come down a lot, and oil prices will come down. And when oil prices come down,
No, apparently because of your policies, the Fed is going to hold off on lowering interest rates. We're going to talk about that here in a second.
everything's going to be cheaper for the American people and actually for the world. But for the
Sir, gas has gone up, eggs have gone up.
come down, and
I was promised cheaper eggs on day one.
a lot of the inflation, that's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
Are you worried that there's too much going on?
You said that you would demand.
Are you worried that there's too much going on at once if you're trying to bring interest rates down, get the economy back going?
It just works that way. I mean, it just economically works that way. When the oil comes down, it'll bring down prices, then you won't have inflation, and then the interest rates will.
What?
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would
Do you expect
I
the
would put
Fed-
in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah,
Are you going to talk to Powell about this and bringing the rates down?
at the right time, I would.
Sir, do you have any of the people you pardoned that were participated in the January 6, 2021 attack? Do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. And, you know, I mean, people understand that also, and they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that, so I'd be open to it certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet, in some of the congressmen, women want to meet.
I mean, I'm trying to look on the broad side.
Spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr.
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like to.
Mr. President, what did you mean when you said that Biden took bad advice and not pardoning himself yesterday?
Well, he did. I think he did, because he pardoned all these people that are crooked as hell. Look, the congressmen, they're crooked. What they
Do
did,
what?
destroyed evidence. When you destroy evidence, especially criminally like that, they did it criminally. And the reason they destroyed the evidence is because it proved that I was right. They didn't destroy evidence for no reason. They destroyed it because they found many documents saying that I offered 10,000 soldiers. If they had
Alien, good evening.
soldiers or National Guard, there would have been no problem. If they had 200, that would have been. I offered 10,000 if they needed them. There would have been no problem. That's been now totally disproven. And it's also been disproven by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who has her on tape saying it was her fault, that she has full responsibility.
Wow.
And they have all that stuff. They destroyed everything. And they go through a year and a half, 2 years of nonsense. They come up with tremendous evidence, and they destroyed evidence. And Schiff knew about it. That's why he's on there. He knew all about the destruction of evidence. A lot of people said he's the one that got him to do it. And he's a crooked guy, totally crooked politician. And so he's pardoned, and some other people.
Once again, no evidence
And he's a
destroyed.
crooked politician.
No idea what he's talking
Every
about.
one of them. Benny Johnson, what he did is incredible. I mean, he was the leader of the committee, and he did it. Cheney, crying Adam Kinzinger, all of them. They destroyed evidence and deleted everything. There's nothing. There's no evidence now. They're crooked politicians, and they should be punished. That's even in a civil trial, you go to jail for a thing like that. They destroyed every document, from what I understand, every document, because it proved that I was totally innocent.
10,000 troops.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh, southern border?
Yes,
When
the
you say
border.
southern border, when I said 10,000 troops, I was referring to the capital.
Well, just now he was talking about the January 6th committee and accusing them of destroying evidence that would have exonerated him.
10,000 troops for the capital before January 6th.
And as for the 1,500 on southern...
BB girl.
Sorry to clarify, what exactly do you want them to be doing right now?
Making sure that the border is safe and secure and that criminals don't come into our country.
Mr. President,
Oh, by the way, they've already rounded up
will force
citizens.
Putin to negotiate.
I don't know, but I think he should make a deal.
Mr. President,
Reports coming out of New Jersey that multiple citizens
deal that you made publicly.
rounded up without due process.
He hates one of the people in the deals.
Have you spoken to him since then?
No, I've spoken to Elon, but I've spoken to all of them, actually. No, the people in the deal are very, very smart people. But Elon, one of the people he happens to hate, but I have certain hatreds of people, too.
Sir, on China, what do you think Xi Jinping can do on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Which one?
The Ukraine-Russia war, what can Xi Jinping do about that?
China?
Yeah.
They have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia. And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things to, it's really a very big trade. It's a very big trading partner. But Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. China pays them a lot of money for that. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make a deal. Maybe they want to make a deal. I think from what I hear, Putin would like to see me, and we'll meet as soon as we can. I'd meet immediately. Every day we don't meet, soldiers are being killed in a battlefield. And that battlefield...
Torch, you hadn't even thought about that.
...battlefield since World War II.
You may be on to something.
And I have pictures that you don't want to see. Soldiers are being killed on a daily basis at numbers that we haven't seen in decades. And it'd be nice to end that war. It's a ridiculous war.
You said that Ukraine's ready to make a deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that personally?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's
That's what he said, Flash.
Lost a lot.
Good evening.
And so did Russia. Lost a lot. Russia lost more soldiers. They lost 800,000 soldiers. Would you say that's a lot? I'd say it's a lot.
Mr. President, you said that you wanted to make Dr. King's dream a reality. What's your response to his children and civil rights leaders who say that your DEI orders are a contradiction of his dream and could further drive racial disparities?
Well, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Mr. President,
Of course you haven't. You're in a bubble.
terrorist. How do you see the war in Yemen and
Well, we'll see what happens, but they can't shoot down our ships, the Houthis.
Yes.
And that you can't shoot down our ships or any ships, and that's what they've been doing. So they're on the terror list. That's for them.
So why did you revoke security protections for former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Brian Hook?
Well, the same reason I did. When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life. Do you want to have a large detail of people guarding people for the rest of their lives? I mean, there's risks to everything.
So would you support striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Say it.
Would you support Israel, for example, striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Oh my God.
You believe in diplomacy?
Obviously, I'm not going to answer that question. We'll have to see. I'm going to be meeting with various people over the next couple of days, and we'll see. But hopefully that can be worked out without having to worry about it. It would be nice. It would really be nice if that could be worked out without having to go that further step.
And who are you going to meet with?
Well, I'd rather not say that, but very high-level people. But hopefully that can be worked out. Look, Iran hopefully will make a deal, and if they don't make a deal,
T-minus, welcome in.
K2.
And Mr. President, just to follow up, you said you think the Fed should listen to you. Can you elaborate on why you think it should?
With regard to interest rates?
Correct, yes.
Because I think I know interest rates much better than they do. And I think I know it.
He knows interest rates much better than the organization tasked with setting interest rates.
Much better than the one who's primarily in charge of making that decision. But
he appointed the head of the Fed, by the way, the Fed chair.
We'll let it be known.
So your tariff plans for China and Mexico are much tougher. Or the ones for Canada and Mexico are much tougher than the one for China. Why is it softer for China?
Well, China's already paying a lot of tariffs because of me. And when you add them up, I would say, they're paying a lot. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars They never paid 10 cents until I came along. When I came along, they've paid hundreds of billions of dollars.
That's a lot. That's a lot of numbers.
And so they've already started at a higher base.
Is February 1st the date for Chinese tariffs as well, sir? February 1, or was that just Mexico and Canada?
It's Mexico and Canada, but we're talking about China too. Look, China's sending us tremendous amounts of bad drugs, fentanyl, really bad stuff. Most of it comes through Mexico, and we're losing, I think, 300,000 lives a year because of that. People say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year. Those are old numbers. The lower number is a low number. And
he also took questions at Davos today, but I'm not going to make you sit through all that. They were about like the same length. Both are about 20 minutes of him taking questions. We're just going to get a snippet of what happened at Davos earlier today. I don't even know where it was at this year. The World Economic Forum. It's usually in some place like Dubai or the UAE or some shit. It's the meeting of all the billionaires to talk about how they're going to fuck over common people. Trump made an appearance via virtual appearance. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Thank you.
He was there virtually.
Mr. President,
God damn it.
I'll go to another.
You're in Switzerland.
You know very well, Brian Moynihan, the CEO and chair of Bank of America.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, and congratulations, and obviously an eventful week for you and your family. If you remember 5 years ago, you came here and we walked among 150 CEOs from all over the world, and you engaged with them about your policies and your procedures. This year you're not here, and yet this week was eventful from the orders that you mentioned earlier, literally a wave of orders coming out on immigration, on trade, and many other matters. And so as a representative of the United States here, we got a lot of questions about what does all this mean and how would the president square this with his clear focus on growth, prosperity, market growth, stock market growth, a good bond market, and bringing down prices. So how do you think about the impact of all these orders and how fast they come out, and how you're going to balance them with that scorecard of being successful in both continuing GDP growth, bringing down inflation, and also having a good stock price appreciation for the American citizen?
Well, I think it's going to actually bring down inflation. It's going to bring up jobs. We're going to have a lot of jobs. We're going to have a lot of companies moving in. You know, Brian, we're at 21%. It was at 40%, and I got it down to 21%, the corporate tax. And it was actually, if you look at state and city, it was in many cases much higher than 40%.
We should raise it back to 33 to third.
And now we're going to bring it down from 21 to 15% if, there's a big if you make your product in the U.S. So we're going to have the lowest, just about the lowest rate. It'll be the 20.
No, it wasn't at 40%.
Worldwide. The 15 is about as low as it gets. And by far the lowest of a large country, a large, rich, powerful country, by far, not even a contest. So we're going to bring it down to 15% if you make your product in the USA. So that's going to create a tremendous buzz. We're also probably going back to the 1 year deduction where we deduct, we did that originally, and that was amazing what the impact that had, the 1 year deduction, which built up over a period of time, and then it expires.
I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
We're going to go back to that when we do the renewal of the Trump tax plan. We have to get Democrats to approve it, but, if the Democrats didn't approve it, I don't know how they can survive with about a 45% tax increase, because that's what it would be. And so I think they're going to do. We've been working along with them pretty well. I think it's very hard for a political group to say, let's charge people 45% more. So I think we're in good shape. But we're actually doing a reduction for business and small businesses where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business. And I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
Open your banks to conservatives. Does that mean like illegal activity? Because I'm pretty sure like if you're a conservative, you can absolutely do banking with pretty much any bank. DJ Dub. Apparently there is a huge disconnect between Jerome Powell, who is Trump's own appointee, and the Trump administration. We could see a fight play out between them. I'm down for it. Let them fight.
Rates drop immediately, and likewise, they should be dropping all over the world.
President Trump takes a swipe at the Federal Reserve. Let's talk to Michael Landsberg of Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management, and I'm Lisa Bernhard with Reuters. Okay, Michael, we had President Trump today beamed in to Davos at the World Economic Forum, and he said there that he'll demand that interest rates drop immediately. Now, the Federal Reserve has its policy meeting next week. It is supposed to keep, or it's expected to keep rates unchanged and perhaps lower rates twice at the most this year. So what do you make of President Trump's salvo?
Yes, I think I think there's an overwhelming disconnect between what President Trump wants and what the Fed's going to do. As a real estate guy, he wants rates to go lower. I think the Fed has kind of boxed itself into a corner. I think inflation's going higher. It's gone higher the last 3 months. I think it goes higher the next 6 months. I don't really think they're going to even get 2 cuts in this year. I think they're going to get 0 cuts in. So I think there's going to be a disconnect between what the president wants, which obviously is lower rates. He thinks that's going to grow the economy. And the flip side of that, if they lower rates too aggressively, inflation's going to come back really aggressively. And so I think they're kind of in a catch-22.
Go ahead, do it. Lower the rates.
And just kind of deal with some of the rhetoric that's going to be out there.
Trump, in his speech today, also threatened tariffs on EU nations, goods coming in from EU nations. How do you see that potentially weakening those economies or sparking a trade war? How do you see that playing out and what the ramifications would be?
I think the first play for Trump is, I think there's it's undeniable that the United States shoulders much of the expense of everything in the world. I think Trump has kind of campaigned on that. I think he goes back to that, whether it be NATO, Ukraine, et cetera. I think this is just more of let's get people to the table to talk about how unfair all the rest of the world's problems are on the United States and our economy. So I don't necessarily know if we go through that at this point. I mean, Europe's in worse shape than we are. So I think economically, tariffs are going to not help them for certain. But I'm not sure if we get those. Obviously, tariffs, there's some trade-offs with currencies. But I think this is really more of an opening move to get people back to the table to talk about let's look at dividing some of these expenses more fairly. I think we saw that with him pulling out of the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate again. I think he looks at things and says, hey, we're paying more than our fair share. Why should we? And I think this is just a continuation of that speech.
So when he talks about 25% tariffs on imported goods from Canada and Mexico, say, you sort of are still taking that with a grain of salt at this point?
Yes, I think part of that with those two neighbors.
No, let's see the tariffs.
With immigration is, hey, you guys need to help us out a little bit. Immigration at the U.S. border starts at Canada and starts at Mexico to make sure it doesn't get there. And I think that's basically what the idea is. We certainly don't want to have tariffs, but let's sit down at the table and talk about what you're going to do to stop the immigration flow. We're trying to take care of our borders, but if you don't do anything on your end, it's not going to really help us that much. I think that's really the case in point is I think he's using these tariffs as a way to get people back to the table to deal with some things that he thinks are unfair. Whether we get tariffs or not from Canada, Mexico, I certainly don't think we're going to get 25%. Maybe there's a little bit, but I think it's more of a matter of getting them to the table to talk about how they can help us stop the flow of illegal immigration into the United States.
And also from that Davos speech today from Trump.
But we don't have a flow of illegal immigration.
OPEC to bring down the cost of oil, and crude oil futures fell after he said that. He also blamed them for the Ukraine-Russia war, said that war would come to an end if oil prices came down. How do you see oil prices now playing out?
Yeah, he was quite busy at Davos. I think when I look at the price of oil, oil I think is a little bit higher than probably it would need to be. I think what ends up happening is if we go to the idea of drill, baby, drill, you're going to have more producers in the United States drilling. It should drive the cost of oil down. I'm not sure if Saudi Arabia and the rest of the Middle East is going to just drop the price of oil because Trump said they need to drop the price of oil. I think that is, again, maybe a negotiating tactic on his behalf. But we think inflation is going to go higher. If it stays here at the 78, 79 barrel oil per barrel, I think that's going to be a problem for our inflation numbers. I think our numbers are too low. So I think it behooves him to try to get the price of oil to come back down towards the normal, let's say $72, $70 range it has been for the past 6 months. I think that would actually help the inflation story and not have it get as rampant as we think it's going to get. But I think him asking for it, I think it's fair. I think part of the idea is he's going to do things that he believes his predecessor should have done and didn't do. And it might be a little bit of window dressing, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And he's trying to shift some of the blame to them, which I think allows him to have a better position with Putin, saying basically this was started by external forces. I think he does have a good relationship with Putin, and I think he wants to keep that. It's certainly, as a country, we hope he can keep a good relationship with him. But I think at the end of the day, he's been consistent about getting rid of the war. I mean, ending this war. And if he can blame some other folks for it to get them to help and kind of carrying the weight here, I think he does that.
Avalon, good evening. And who's be doing stupid shit? Earlier today, our new CIA director was sworn in. Are you guys excited? Oh, he was some fucking finance bro from some investment firm. This is John Ratcliffe, our new CIA director.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have you here. I'm thrilled to be joined, of course, by our incoming director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe, as well as his lovely wife, Michelle. And I will say that John is a great patriot, a guy that has the trust of the president, and I think really believes deeply in the mission, first of all, of keeping Americans safe.
He is a deep state ghoul.
In a way that ensures that
he's very happy with himself. Look at him.
In our national intelligence services, and both of those things really matter. We're not going to have much safety, and we're going to have a great intelligence services unless the American people actually trust that those intelligence services are doing their job, and I have every confidence that John Ratcliffe is going to do that. That's why the president nominated him, and that's why the Senate confirmed him with big margins. Now, normally, after I administer the oath, I would actually invite the new guy to say a few words, but given that he's the leader of the CIA, anything that he told you, he would have to, well, you know how that goes. So John Ratcliffe is not going to give any remarks.
Oh my God!
Knowledge in his brain is actually classified, so he's going to head straight to Langley.
You are cringe as fuck, Vance.
So John, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, please place your hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. I, John Ratcliffe.
I, John Ratcliffe,
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to.
Well, technically, the CIA is really only focused on the foreign.
The same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Dougie.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what that CIA been doing exactly, huh? CIA been up to anything that we need to know about? Perhaps we're getting some classified documents. They're going to let us know what that CIA been doing. Maybe they had something to do with the assassination of a president like JFK.
Lee Harvey Oswald and the assassination of JFK. If anybody knows about this assassination, it's Gerald. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, you tweeted after this announcement and this executive order, transparency at last. There are a few thousand records that have still been withheld from the public. They're largely redacted or totally redacted. Why were they being withheld?
Yeah, you know, Elizabeth, you and I have talked over the years about some of the JFK file releases, and I never knew we'd come to an actual day in which a president ordered their full release. We have about 3,500 documents, as you said, still there. The CIA and others are fighting over their release by saying, gee, it has a name of a living asset, a human asset, an intelligence agent, someone who helped us. It's got some means of gathering intelligence. Trump is saying, forget all of that. These files are important enough. The American public has a right to know what their government knows about the assassination. A lot of people have been suspicious, thinking that they're hiding some truth about a big conspiracy in there. So I
doubt we're going to get that.
The devil will be in the details about exactly what the president, when he says everything's coming out, means, because there are tax files in there. Tax files are supposed
Whoa. Did the CIA just censor him?
exactly what the president, when he says everything's coming out, means, because there are tax files in there. Tax files are supposed to be sealed forever, but he may override that and have those tax files of Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby and others released as well.
I don't understand, though, the CIA saying there's the name of a living asset. That was 61 years ago. I mean, that living asset would be 80 or something?
At least.
Because you have to think, in the 1960s, when this was taking place, the assets that they had in Mexico City, where Oswald went only 6 weeks before the assassination, were sometimes people in the federal police or in the Mexican government who were in their 20s, who were providing information over to the CIA. So they're now in the mid 80s to late 80s. It seems as though there would be very, very few of those. And look, I've thought that the CIA has overmade its case. It was trying to protect its own bureaucratic reputation.
Yep.
I think these files it won't prove that they were behind the effort to kill the president, but I think they will be embarrassing to the agency about how much they knew that Oswald was unhinged in the weeks before the assassination. They never told the FBI. So to the extent the files show that.
Yep. DJ Dub trying to protect the Bush legacy as well.
We need to see these after all these years.
Well, and by the way, so what if it's embarrassing to the agency? And by the way, everybody at the agency probably wasn't, they were kids, if alive, when the assassination occurred. You say that anybody waiting for some dramatic revelation will be disappointed, but could the full release finally put to bed many of the conspiracy theories that still persist?
No.
I think they will put together. There will be no credible evidence, no smoking gun document, so to say, that everybody will say, oh my goodness, that's it. That's what proves the conspiracy. And I think that's what people are waiting for. They're looking for what I call this X-Files moment. They think they're watching an X-Files that's going to end with this great disclosure. But there will be important information in there. There are still files about the Bay of Pigs, the failed invasion there. There are things about the mafia, CIA plot to kill Castro. There's some Mexican intelligence material on Oswald. So we'll fill in part of the history, but I don't think it'll put the conspiracy theories to rest. People will just say, okay, they weren't there in those files, but let's look elsewhere. Maybe President Trump will do what Bobby Kennedy suggested once, which is establish a national commission to look for the files everywhere in the government, and then we'll have this going on for years more.
Listen, I think Larry Sabato said it best when he said, quote, it seemed just so fantastical that one very disturbed individual could end up pulling off the crime of the century. Of course, referring to 24-year-old, he's so young, Lee Harvey Oswald. Then 2 days later, Oswald himself is assassinated by Jack Ruby, stoking more conspiracies. And then we have the revelation that the CIA had been tracking Oswald even as he visited the Soviet and Cuban.
Oh, he's totally an asset.
Mexico just weeks before the assassination. There's a lot there that looks really fishy.
I agree. And as a matter of fact, when I first approached the case and started to work on it in the early 90s, I thought it was a conspiracy. I thought that Jack Ruby's murder of Oswald was a silencing of Oswald. The mafia was somehow involved. So I looked for the evidence that would say, yes, there was a plot here. I didn't find it. I followed the evidence to eventually conclude it was Oswald alone. That doesn't mean that there weren't conspiracies brewing against JFK. You could have had the
Well, there absolutely was.
The Russians and the KGB wanted him dead. He was trying to kill Castro. So the Cubans might have wanted him dead. All I concluded in the end is that Oswald got there, committed the assassination, and he wasn't working for any of the plotters. He did it on his own.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think he probably had some material support from someone in the government, whether it was officially somebody in the government, whether it was somebody working as a rogue agent. I mean, I believe Oswald was the shooter. I don't believe that he didn't have help. He had help from somewhere, whether it was another government. My thought process is probably a rogue agent inside, or agents inside of our government. I'm just saying that's kind of where I fall. I don't, there wasn't a second shooter. There wasn't any of that bullshit. Magic bullet, yada, yeah, fuck all that shit. I've had that explained to me to where that I'm satiated on that. But you can't tell me that he didn't have material support from somewhere. Yeah, Flash, that's right. He went to the Soviets. He defected to the Soviets. The Soviets were like, nope, this guy's nuts. I'd say Al-Qaeda has turned down U.S. soldiers. Secretary of Defense Hegseth. We are one step closer to that. The Senate has voted to advance the Hegseth confirmation.
Pete Hegseth today cleared a key test vote in the Senate. He is Donald Trump's choice to become the next defense secretary, and he cleared this vote. This procedural vote tally was 51-49. Two Republicans broke ranks with President Trump to vote against Hegseth. Those Republicans are Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine. President Trump spoke on the phone just a little while ago while signing the series of new executive orders.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski
We already went through this.
will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you?
I assume they need 60. I'm assuming there's a filibuster.
It's too bad. It's just the way it is. Too bad.
All right, so Hegseth can only afford to lose 3 Republican votes. That's the margin in the Senate, plus Vice President J.D. Vance, to get confirmed. So Jay O'Brien, he does the math. He knows the story. He's on the Hill with more. Jay, Murkowski and Collins, they don't like Hegseth. What do they say about it? And are those...
Wait a minute, are the Democrats not throwing up a filibuster?
Murkowski and Collins both issued these lengthy statements, Terry, where they ticked through their problems with Pete Hegseth. They say he doesn't have the requisite experience to lead the Department of Defense. Their statements are relatively similar. They talked about previous comments Pete Hegseth has made where he said that he didn't support women serving in combat. He's since walked those back and said he's not going to reverse the Pentagon's policy on women in roles in the military. Murkowski and Collins said a version of this as well, said that she was given pause by allegations of sexual assault against Hegseth, which Hegseth denies, allegations that Hegseth mismanaged 2 veterans charities. We're also now confirming reporting that was first broken by the Associated Press. Our Capitol Hill team has that Hegseth acknowledged to a senator in a questionnaire, Senator Elizabeth Warren, that he paid $50,000 to the woman who accused him of sexual assault in California. He said that's not an acknowledgement of wrongdoing, just an acknowledgement of trying to make that story, in a sense, go away. Again, Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. He's pointed to the fact that no criminal charges were brought. But this was a key test vote today to see if enough Republicans opposed Hegseth's nomination and could have tanked it. But we only got those 2. A third, even, if they had joined their ranks, and Hegseth would still have been on track to be confirmed. It's 4 Republican senators that would have doomed Hegseth. We've still got our eyes on a few more, like Mitch McConnell, who has said he would vote for this test vote, but unclear if he's going to actually vote come that final vote on Hegseth tomorrow. Tom Tillis is another who said he's doing his due diligence on Pete Hegseth. I asked Josh Hawley, a Republican senator who's firmly...
He's gonna get confirmed.
What does he say to those...
Carla, quesadilla, good evening.
...who are waffling on Pete Hegseth or just outright no's at this hour? Here's what he said.
What would you say to some of your colleagues who have deep concerns about Pete Hegseth?
No, vote however you want to vote. But listen, I think he's a very capable individual. I sat down with him. He went through the whole confirmation process. I mean, I was a big advocate, as some of you know, reported on. I was a huge advocate of having the full confirmation process, go through the whole thing. By the way, I advised him on this early. I talked to him early on, soon after he was nominated, and I said, listen, you should go out there and say, I will answer every question. I will meet with every senator who wants to meet with me. I will answer every question under oath, which he did.
And we've heard from some Republican senators, Terry, who say that they...
Didn't he refuse meetings with multiple Democrats?
Because, again, if there are no more no votes at this hour and it's just Murkowski and Collins, that puts Hegseth on track to win that confirmation vote tomorrow and become the next Secretary of Defense.
Stay tuned, I guess. Jay O'Brien, thanks very much. I know you'll be there.
Oh, God, we got some breaking news here, it looks like. Hold on. No, I think that was something you got to watch with this breaking shit. I'm not seeing any real news agency report it, so I'm not going to say this. Yeah. We'll pass on that one. I'm in all these fucking Twitter fucking Trump groups. A judge earlier today handed Trump his first loss of his second term, blocking executive order on birthright citizenship. Multi-state coalition argues that birthright citizenship is a fundamental right protected by the 14th Amendment. Do we have video? I mean, there's not much to it. U.S. District Judge John Coffiner issued a temporary restraining order against the Trump administration from enforcing an executive order that would revoke U.S. citizenship for some children born in the U.S. President Trump's executive order was scheduled to go into effect on February 19th. The order would not impact the legal status of children born prior to February 19th, 2025. Currently, virtually all children born in the U.S. are granted citizenship regardless of their parents' immigration status. The order would revoke citizenship for children of those in the U.S. illegally. Coffenhauer heard a challenge brought by Washington Attorney General Nick Brown. Washington has joined Oregon, Arizona, and Illinois in the suit. Overall, 22 states filed lawsuits against Trump. Coffenhauer is an appointee of former President Ronald Reagan. God damn, how have you been on the bench that fucking 40 years? Jesus. Because, you know, if they're being appointed as a judge, they're already 40 or 50. Maybe in their late 30s. The crackdowns have already started. Over 500 migrants arrested, including in sanctuary cities.
Undocumented immigrants by President Trump. Only 3 full days into Mr. Trump's tenure, and a federal judge in Seattle today issuing.
But they're going to argue
to stop
the right-wing argument on birthright citizenship is that only applied to slaves. The 14th Amendment only applied to the freeing of the slaves.
President's executive order that overturns the constitutionally protected birthright citizenship. The judge calling Trump's action blatantly unconstitutional. The president, by the way, says he's going to appeal. Meanwhile, the judge's action comes as federal law enforcement, including ICE agents, have arrested nearly 500 undocumented immigrants in several cities, all of them since the president was sworn in on Monday. And some of those arrests were in our area. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are more than worried right now. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live at City Hall with tonight's lead story. New.
Yeah, so where will it end, Bill? That is the question you're hearing tonight in the corridors of New York City Hall. Now, the mayor, as you know, has made it clear he opposes mass deportations. But there are those tonight who want to hear more.
I kind of doubt it, Eric Adams. I'm assuming you're lobbying for a pardon from Trump. I doubt you oppose mass deportations.
Immigration agents are descending on communities across the nation. These men taken into custody outside Boston. An alleged MS-13 member from El Salvador arrested just outside New York, along with a Jamaican man facing child pornography charges here in the city. President Trump's executive orders give federal authorities broad powers to track down and deport undocumented immigrants. For the moment, the targets appear to be suspected criminals, but city officials aren't sure what to think or what to expect. City Council Speaker Adrian Adams.
We're in a wait-and-see mode. I mean, we don't know, how broad this is going to impact.
Damn that pearl necklace.
New York sanctuary city laws forbid city agencies from cooperating in all but criminal cases. The NYPD cannot assist in mass.
Oh, that's another thing with the Reagan Riley. Fucking fuck. The Reagan Riley. That bill allows them to deport anyone who is accused of a crime. Blatantly unconstitutional.
Deportations. A guidance memo makes that clear. The fact that a person is present in the United States without lawful authorization is a civil matter, not a crime.
Yep.
Even the council's conservative members support that.
I don't think they're going to just start deporting anybody. They're going to focus on the criminals. Who would be against that?
This is not mass deportation of good people.
I don't think everybody you're rounding up is criminals. I think your definition of criminal is very fucking broad. So I am against it because of that.
This is mass deportation of the worst of the worst.
As recently as last night, Mayor Adams urged immigrants not to go into hiding.
Children should go to school. Those who need health care should go to hospitals. Those who are involved in any type of interaction.
Yeah, this is one of those first they came for situations.
The law enforcement agencies, we have maintained that over and over again. And we're going to continue to stand up for all New Yorkers, documented and undocumented.
But some say Adams should be more outspoken. The speaker questions his motives and his relationship with President Trump.
The mayor is somehow prohibitive from saying certain things about the new president, so I'm not sure that that would happen.
Do you feel that he needs to mount a more vigorous defense of the city's immigrant community?
Yes, I do.
Well, if there is a plan to deal with mass deportations, the council speaker says she has yet to see it. In a city of 400,000, an estimated 400,000 undocumented immigrants, the fear tonight is real.
The official number that we have is like 500. One of them was apparently caught on camera, and Fox News has been playing this clip all goddamn day.
Well, President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown is off to a fast start. Fox News has learned that in a 33-hour period between Tuesday morning and Wednesday night, ICE agents arrested over 460 migrants, many with long criminal histories. But these operations aren't just limited to Boston. They're taking place all over the country. Bill Malugin is getting an exclusive look at this massive, important operation in the sanctuary city of Boston. Live now to Bill.
Well, Emily, we've heard officials here in Boston and in Massachusetts say repeatedly they are not going to cooperate with ICE or mass deportation efforts by the Trump administration. And ICE says, well, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to cooperate with us. We're still going to go into your city and we're going to do the job. And we were with ICE Boston yesterday for about 10 hours as we got to watch them firsthand carry out immigration enforcement. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of elite ICE officers is briefing on their
elite.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder.
Is he?
He has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti.
Wait. They're calling him illegal alien in the story. Calls him migrant in the headline. I would assume he's here legally from Haiti on a temporary protected status. I would assume he's here after a fucking natural disaster or something. So I wonder if Fox is getting this right inside of the report. Notice it says migrant, not illegal alien.
Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro. Come on, man.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking.
Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go in his...
The reason they're blurring their faces is because if perhaps they turn out to be an American citizen, Fox News gets in real big trouble.
Sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took
They blur their faces.
significant public safety threats out of our communities.
I do wonder why the agents, this must be their public information officer or some shit. That's why they're not blurring her face.
Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
The report that I saw from New Jersey that said that they picked up citizens said that they did not have a warrant.
And guys, a quick note on some of the blurring we did in that story. We decided to hide the faces of the ICE officers, obviously, because a lot of them work undercover. We also blurred some of the faces of the suspects if their cases are still pending, if they've been arrested but haven't been convicted yet. We also learned after we were done filming that ICE picked up another target on the other side of the city. This was a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested locally and is facing charges for raping a woman while holding a gun in her mouth, guys. Those are the kind of targets ICE is picking up out here. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malugin, thank you. Kaylee, an absolutely frightening collection of individuals took 33.
All right. Once again, who's in on the orgy couch? We got Kaylee Maganini, Harris Faulkner, Azadi in the center. I'm going in. I'm going into the orgy couch. Sorry.
3 hours to get 461 out of the way. Amazing.
Why is it always one dude and 4 women?
And the mandate from the American people can do.
Clinically. Orgy couch, you in? Wait, how'd I miss the... There we go. There's the full shot. Yeah, it's a white couch. What you thinking clinically? You got some nice legs.
Of individuals took 33 hours to get 461 out of the way. Amazing what a little bit of leadership,
clinically passes,
and the mandate from the American people can do.
And Emily, we were sitting there watching this.
Maganini looks better today.
For that Haitian individual. I mean, we were stunned to hear him say, bleep Trump. Thank you, Biden. Thank you, Obama. Biden forever, bro. Pay attention to what he is saying. Biden and Obama enabled someone with 18 criminal convictions to sit in our country without any sort of accountability. There's a lot of people they need to add to that list. Mr. Haitian migrant, criminal who's no longer going to be here. Add Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston. Add Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. Add Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Democrats have enabled this. And what a smart move from this administration to put these images out there within 48 hours. Because I can tell you this, the media is trying to focus on crying immigrants whose CBP apps were canceled, their appointments were canceled. They're trying to find the collateral migrants who are swept up. Tom Homan said that would happen because Democrats are not being compliant. They're trying to find those stories. And the Trump administration says, here are the criminals that are going to make the next Laken Riley happen in this country. This is what we're doing, protecting women, girls, American citizens.
And
you're fear-mongering is what you're doing.
Tom Homan warns these individuals, you will be arrested for these collateral individuals. You will be arrested for.
I don't know if I like her.
Yeah, you know, we do need to take a good look at the first law they broke, though, because that is really the problem. They came into this country illegally.
No, they didn't.
And the last administration.
Once again, I am pretty fucking sure the migrant that was thanking Obama probably came over under temporary protected status. Maybe he didn't even commit any crime while he was in this country. We don't know the whole story. So shut the fuck up, Harris Faulkner, but you can still be my GOP mommy.
Wanted to legalize their illegal behavior and just turn them into our neighbors. And that's how people have gotten to the point where, well, can we vote too? Eric Adams.
Oh, Lenny, are you behind? Don Jr. and Guilfoyle broke up, what, about 6 months ago? 8 months ago? So he's got a new woman now. She's like a model.
Forget what he said when he was a candidate before he decided he might need Trump to clean up this mess that he and the governor of New York have put on the citizens here in the state with illegal immigration. He said, oh, I'll see if you can vote, even if you're not here legally. So can we all just agree that when you break our law of sovereignty at the border, it counts, it matters, and they are going after the most violent among them and the criminals. And if they sweep up some, as you said, Kaylee, I believe, look, they're not playing ball with ICE, but they're also sweeping up people because those people are with the...
Bettina Anderson is her name. Bettina Anderson. Bettina Anderson, she's like a model. Florida socialite.
The illegal guys who are committing the violent crimes because they're here illegally too.
Ironic.
I can't say that enough. And does that mean that everybody gets pushed out? What it ought to mean is everybody at least gets vetted.
Simply, good evening.
Talk to you about something specific having to do with California. So we know that ICE issued over 420 detainers, which means that they demand to be notified when a national is released from custody. These ones that they're requesting are in custody for things like homicide, battery, rape, kidnapping, and the like. But they're in the city of San Jose, for example, when Miss Bambi Larson was murdered by an illegal immigrant who had 6 detainer requests from ICE. And that is why, in part, Michael Gates from Huntington Beach in your neck of the woods in Southern California is suing California, saying we are not a sanctuary city. You are hurting American citizens.
Well, California isn't a city.
Reflected in these ongoing tensions now. But I see Tom Homan and the rest of the United States succeeding over this.
And it's important to note that when you talk about Huntington Beach, it's in Orange County, and Orange County is...
I'm sorry. I also pointed out their fear-mongering. I can compliment them on their nice legs and point out their fear-mongering, right? You can do both. You walk and talk at the same time.
Redder part of California, not as red as it used to be, but remember, in the election, 11 counties in California went red. So it was a big deal, a big shift. California is not going to cooperate. Bill Melugin, nobody's done better work on this stuff than Bill Melugin when he was talking about in his script saying Boston is not going to cooperate. Yes, but
yeah, I don't like this guy.
Resisting a lot of this stuff.
I don't like the lady in the red. I'm not taking this orgy couch. I'm backing out of this one.
Because even Eric Adams is saying, you know what, we're gonna play ball.
I thought he might have a zaddy quality to him, but I'm not into him.
California's not there yet. California is pushing back, saying we are going to resist. We are going to protect. Chicago is saying we are going to protect our people. But you can see as they start seeing these images of MS-13 members and gang members being gathered up and sent to their home countries, you're going to see more public opinion.
I feel like MS-13 is just a new buzzword. It's a new Antifa.
Saying they're deporting legal people. It's not what's happening. They are reporting the worst of the worst like they said they would do.
That's why the protection of the people means complying with ICE and actually helping this rather than resisting.
Well, and part of Bill Melugin's reporting, he commented on a woman, a neighbor, who, as they were bringing someone out, she yelled out of her window, "Thank you." This is what people voted for. We talk about Lake and Riley.
To round up their neighbors.
this was such a concern of so many Americans, women, moms, families, that they
Yeah, that's fair enough, my lord. That's like an Obama thing.
crime scenes because of these open
An Obama era thing.
And so I think that was, to me, just really crystallized a promise made and a promise being kept.
Oh, I didn't know there was a California city.
And
My bad.
that we're getting these images, because that totally debunks the left's whole narrative on this.
Yeah, and those lives can never be restored. Those injuries can never be repaired. That trauma is permanent. So now this is just the first step in hoping.
What about all the trauma of the people that you accidentally pick up?
Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris.
Emily Campagno, that's the one. I didn't care much for her. Violent gang members is what they're saying they're rounding up. But I guess it depends on what color your skin is, right? Because they apparently invited some violent gang members to the Capitol, because I got some video of one. Damn YouTube.
It doesn't make them devoid of their right to protest, right? To petition the government for disagreement as long as being peaceable.
No, more
their
just
First Amendment
asking
rights are not
because
destroyed after that, I would hope. Right?
More just asking because of like violent backgrounds, things that would reflect on the way that they might conduct themselves in that situation.
Here's the thing: I wasn't in command of the entire crowd. It's like 100,000 people. I was in command of my guys. And my guys screwed up. If I'd have been with them, I'd have said, don't go inside the Capitol. But I don't believe they committed any crimes, at most trespass.
You shouldn't be here. You are welcome. First Amendment, free speech.
Right.
It is disrespectful.
No, it's not.
Are you in official capacity with the Capitol office here?
Nope, I'm just
Okay, so you have a right to express your opinion? And
You're a traitor.
no standing here except I work here. And
I used to work here too.
I don't want to be part of
It
this
doesn't
story.
matter.
I just want to express that.
Okay, that's fine.
Please tell your story elsewhere. Here is
I have a right to free speech.
it's disrespectful. Yes, of
I'm
course.
here, and I'm here to conduct business too. So,
So we introduced ourselves, ma'am. What was your name?
I don't really care. It doesn't matter.
So real gorgeous. So they let a violent gang into the Capitol. Several judges, the law and order party over here. Several judges very upset about letting the January 6 rioters out with a pardon.
In the days since President Trump's sweeping clemency of January 6th rioters, the federal courts have been busy processing the dismissals. But the judges who've spent years overseeing the hundreds of trials are not hiding their frustration. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, who sentenced dozens of defendants and also oversaw President Trump's election interference case, criticized the decision in an order saying, quote, "No pardon can change the tragic truth of what happened on January 6, 2021. It cannot whitewash the blood, feces, and terror that the mob left in its wake." While fellow U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell wrote, quote, "No national injustice occurred here. Charges were fully supported by evidence. This court cannot let stand the revisionist myth relayed in the presidential pronouncement." The comments are some of the first made by judges following the president's decision to grant clemency to more than 1,500 people who were charged for the January 6th attack. For perspective now, we turn to John Jones. He's a retired federal judge who was appointed by President George W. Bush and now serves as the president of Dickinson College. Thanks for being with us.
Jeff, good to be with you.
So this is the president of Dix.
2 decades on the federal bench. How do you perceive the impact of these pardons on the judiciary's role in upholding the rule of law and ensuring accountability for actions that undermine democratic institutions?
Well, bravo, Jeff, to my former colleagues on the D.C. bench, because judges are not allowed under the Code of Conduct to make what are called extrajudicial statements about cases. In other words, Judge Chutkan and Judge Howell can't call a press conference. They shouldn't, and make statements, but they let their orders do the talking for them. And you can read directly from their orders and tell that they're pretty anguished about the fact that these folks were pardoned. They know these cases. They understand what happened in these cases. In many cases, they sentenced these people, and they're intimately familiar with the facts. And they're simply, by their words, not accepting a false narrative that these were, and I'm quoting the president, that these were hostages.
To your point about the false narrative, Donald Trump has for years now sought to reframe the public's understanding of what transpired on January 6th. He often refers to it as a beautiful day. Another of the federal judges involved in the convictions said that the real history of that day is captured in the evidence. Here's what District Court Judge Colleen Collar-Catelli said. She says, those records are immutable and represent the truth, no matter how the events of January 6th are described by those charged or their allies. How does that strike you? Because we've seen in this current moment how the truth can so often bend to the power of perception.
Well, that's exactly right. And, it's the old adage, if you say something enough times, people start to believe it. But let's take the example, Jeff, of these judges. In the case of a trial, and many of them went to trial, that judge sat through the trial and heard all of the evidence in the case, unbiased, impartial, without fear or favor. The jury made the determination, and the judge's job was to make sure the defendant had a fair trial. Many of them pled guilty, however. And when a defendant pleads guilty in federal court, there's a pre-sentence report that is very thick and chock full of facts, and the defendant has the right to object to those facts
anonymously
if he or she believes the facts aren't correct. So again, these judges are intimately familiar with every shred of evidence in these cases, and they're simply not buying, the fact that these are victims or hostages. And in many cases, they know, and I'm quite sure they know that there is a danger of recidivism. That is that these defendants may get out and commit crimes. And we can already see by the defendants' pronouncements, the pardoned individuals, they're far from full of remorse. And in fact, some have indicated that they're not going to play by the rules and that there'll be retribution for what happened to them. This all goes into the judge's calculus when they write the orders and make the comments that you very cogently presented.
In some instances, the judges have opted to dismiss these cases without prejudice, meaning that they could be refiled hypothetically at some point. Do you see a universe in which that could happen post-Trump?
No, they're not going to be. They're not going to be prosecuted again. Jeff, that's just a statement by the judges, a little bit of a finger in the eye, I guess, maybe for a little psychic enjoyment, darkly enjoying it, but they're not going to get refiled. And I suspect that all the judges who would not dismiss with prejudice understood that.
Big picture question. How should the judiciary maintain its independence in this moment where so many Americans view the judicial branch as just another political branch?
I've been there and done that, and I used to joke that when I was on the bench, I thought my name was changed to from Judge John Jones to Bush-appointed Judge John Jones, and I surprised some people by actually ruling in cases in a way that
I ain't got him, Torchy.
What folks thought I would do, given who appointed me. I think that happens every day in the judiciary because judges take an oath. I think the judiciary properly,
possibly tomorrow,
operating has to be a bulwark against the tyranny of the majority. And in this case,
please smoke for me.
And it's not adversarial per se, but if you have a president, who doesn't respect the judiciary and who believes that they should bend to his will, the judiciary is going to have
been a little tight on money.
Branch of government
after the last move,
according to the facts and the law and the Constitution.
We'll be straight next week.
To another, topic. You're seeing that today with the birthright citizenship question, and that's starting to appear on dockets across the country. Be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Retired federal judge John Jones, now president of Dickens.
So yeah, I might walk over and get myself an 8th or something. Oh yeah. I'm not straight, financially straight. Fragwoods. I think I got enough to be able to go over and get myself an 8th or something tomorrow, but that would require me walking in the cold. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. But I'll be fine next week. The weather is supposed to be warmer. Curator may be by at some point in time, and I've still got my. I get a free pre-roll from one of the stores. You get a free pre-roll for signing up for the rewards program, and you get a pre-roll for giving them a review. So I've still got one pre-roll left to get. Expect a subpoena soon. Oversight Republican issuing a warning to the January 6th committee.
50 because of this election.
I know you want to turn the page. The House is now Republican, Senate Republican. President Donald Trump was sworn in earlier this week. You were at the inauguration. Take us inside the room. What was that like, A? And B, what's your reaction to the flurry of executive actions and orders that President Trump signed?
Well, first, you can tell that I don't have a lot of hair. I was very happy that it was moved inside. I was not. It was 12 degrees outside on inauguration day. I thought I was going to lose fingers and toes and ears. So inside the rotunda was truly incredible. Honestly, I've been in that room hundreds of times. I never even conceived of the fact that we could have 600 people in that room. So it was packed, but it was electric, and everyone was excited. It's an honor to be there. Obviously, only 600 people at such a momentous moment in American history. It was very special. It was an honor to be there. The executive orders are exactly what I was expecting. It's exactly what he told the American people he would do. It's why he got elected. And we've closed the southern border. We're rooting out DEI in the government. We're strengthening the military. We're unleashing U.S. energy. I mean, he's already stopped the war in Gaza, and I guarantee you that Ukraine is going to be at peace in the near future. So,
I didn't put it on the news tonight, but just know that Israeli soldiers are conducting operations in the West Bank right now. Have killed numerous Palestinians. The idea that Trump put an end to, I mean, I guess in Gaza for right now, they've stopped fighting, they've stopped bombing the shit out of Gaza. Now they moved over to the West Bank.
These are the things that he told the American people he would do, and this is why they voted for them. I'm getting a lot of questions about the pardons that Trump has issued to the people involved in January 6th. It's important to realize that he pardoned 1,500 plus, but he commuted the sentences for a few dozen. And those commutations, they're still felons. And he did that because some people did things that they should not have done. And
he commuted the sentences of people that were convicted of seditious conspiracy, i.e. treason to the United States, you dipshit.
They are going to be felons for the rest of their life. Those sentences were commuted. They were not pardoned. And if you don't like that President Trump did that, go talk to the 74 million Americans who voted for him when he said,
well, they're idiots,
that he was going to do it. President Trump said,
those 74 million Americans are subjected to nonstop right-wing propaganda from a whole host of right-wing groups like the Daily Wire and TPUSA and yada yada for liberty, the Mises Institution, all these libertarian fucking pages and shit, all say the fucking same shit. All the other, there's a gazillion right-wing fucking talking heads from Dan Bongino to Drew Brinquist and Lance Wallenew and fucking the insane amount of right-wing AM radio hosts. I can name them all for you because I'm constantly cutting pieces out of their shows. People like Vicky McKenna or Steve Gruber. People you've never fucking heard of. These people are all over the goddamn United States. Constantly just pounding in people's heads this nonstop drumbeat of propaganda. But one of the wildest stories I saw today is that why they say they are going to be sending subpoenas to people from the January 6th committee, there is one specific person who testified in the January 6th committee, they don't want to send a subpoena to. I wonder why that is. Republicans scared to call January 6th witness after sending sexual texts. House Republicans are suddenly afraid of subpoenaing Cassidy Hutchinson for fear that she could leak some sexually explicit texts. The rampant, vile horniness of Republican lawmakers may stop them from getting a key witness on the stand in their sham reinvestigation of the January 6th insurrection. One of House Speaker Mike Johnson's aides warned Republicans not to subpoena former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson because doing so would likely reveal all of the sexually explicit text messages Republicans have been sending Hutchinson since 2018. Hutchinson is known for delivering an explosive testimony about the events of January 6, 2021, exposing President Trump as the power-crazed man he is. She told Congress that Trump grabbed the wheel of a moving limousine, jumped at a Secret Service agent, and threw a plate of food at the wall in the days leading up to January 6th. The idea to subpoena Hutchinson was first raised by Representative Barry Loudermilk, who led the first Republican-only investigation into January 6th. He was seeking testimony and electronic messages from Hutchinson in regards to her communications with former Representative Liz Cheney. But Loudermilk was dissuaded from this by the Johnson aide, who stated that such a subpoena could add sexual texts from members who were trying to engage in sexual favors to public record and potentially reveal embarrassing information. One can only speculate the horrors Hutchinson was sent by our own public officials. Kinzinger says, bring the subpoenas on. And that's what a patriot would say.
This could lead. Joining us for that is seen as Donny O'Sullivan, also former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and former Republican Congressman and January 6th Select Committee member Adam Kinzinger. Donny, what are you hearing from some of the most notorious people?
Ganim, you want to call in? What are you winning exactly? Buddy, all Trump does is cry, and constantly bitch and complain. It made him feel bad to be a victim. Oh, everyone was so mean to me. Yeah, you can't trust crying men, indeed. Come on, call in, you stupid fuck. I would love to have an argument with you right now. Come on. Tell me what the fuck it is you think you're winning. 917-830-4359. Or you can hop into the Discord. Just let me know that you're there. Tell me what it is you think you're winning. I want to know. Fucking egg prices are still sky fucking high. Gas prices haven't come down. How does mass deportations help you, brother? Come on, tell me. How do mass deportations help you? I'll let you know, they don't. They're actually going to fucking wreck your own economy. Brother, JFK declassified. He could have done that in the first fucking administration. Matter of fact, if those documents were set to be released in like 2017 or 2018, he blocked them the first time. Are you just a fucking idiot, man, that just regurgitates what you're told to believe? This is why I call right-wingers fucking morons. Dumbest fucks walking the planet. Go back and watch the... What wars are ending, you dipshit? Do you know what deal he cut with Israel? He told the Netanyahu government, hey, act like there's a peace deal now, and then you can go back to assaulting Gaza after everything dies down. There were no hostages on January 6th. There were people who were traitors to this country who were rightfully prosecuted. And you were cheering it on because you're a fucking traitor to the country. You're a dumbass, my friend. You're a dumbass. You got played by a grifter, and here in about 4 years, you're never going to admit it. You'll tell me you never voted for Trump. You never supported the guy. I promise you, because I've lived through it already. I lived through, like, in 2005, people were acting exactly like you. Oh, we're winning, we're winning, we're winning. By 2008, nobody would admit they voted for Bush. You're all stupid fucks.
All who are granted clemency.
Yeah, I mean, just spending the past few days in Washington, D.C., quite surreal to see Oath Keepers and members of the Proud Boys proudly walking around the Capitol, even through the halls of Congress tonight. Speaking of the Proud Boys, the leader of the group there, as you mentioned, was speaking to Alex Jones yesterday, and I want to play a little bit.
Of course he was.
Now it's our turn. I'm happy that the president's focusing not on retribution and focusing on success. But
he's not focusing on retribution?
I'm not going to play by those rules. The people who did this, they need to feel the heat. They need to be put behind.
Alex Jones looking like X-Pac or some shit.
Prosecuted. We should put Merrick Garland, at the very least, for 90 days in federal prison and give him a taste of his own medicine.
We're fucking Trump's not doing retribution. We should put Merrick Garland in prison. Fucking shit.
Of what he put us through. So I'm calling for the incarceration of Merrick Garland.
So standing back and standing by there for retribution and for vengeance. Also last night, as we were going on air with you from outside the DC jail, Jake Lang, who was serving time in the jail, actually awaiting trial, he was accused of swinging a baseball bat at police officers on January 6th. He was released, and have a listen to what he had to say.
In history, it will be remembered when a free man stood up against tyranny. It is no longer the age where we have to hide in America. We are back, the patriots. We don't have to crawl in the back corners of Facebook and Instagram being censored. We've got X, we've got Trump, we've got Musk, we've got the dream team. We're back.
And they're back. They are back. He's emboldened. He has built up a huge social media following during his time in jail. And he's
don't time him out. He didn't do anything wrong, Avalon.
There's a whole new...
He may be annoying, but he didn't break any TOS.
Of martyrs, of heroes.
Please don't... All mods, please, if they're not being harassing, if they're not breaking TOS, something's going to get me taken off of Twitch. Do not ban them. Do not time them out. If they're here in the chat, there's a possibility we can win them over. I mean, they're getting exposed to fucking critical thought. So if the dumbass actually opens his ears and listens to what we have to say, he's going to understand why he's fucking stupid. So please, don't do anything that will run them off.
So, Andrew, what do you make of this? I mean, are you concerned about the leaders of these groups, and for that matter, rank-and-file members being emboldened by this?
Yeah, absolutely, Anderson. There's no question that they'll be emboldened by it. This is a massive act of validation for the things that they believe and the wrongs that they think they've suffered over the last couple of years. But the thing that really concerns...
If I understand that sometimes I respond to them too much, and you feel like, oh, well, they're getting to you and they're getting you off the topic of the news. No, I just fucking love doing it. I love arguing with people. So I can't help it. But if I'm getting annoying and you want to get back to the news, just say something and we'll do that.
Concerns me as a former law enforcement and intelligence officer is we know from history that when notable high-profile right-wing white supremacist groups, the KKK and others, win in court, when they are prosecuted and they defeat those charges, that provides a surge in their recruiting and their ability to attract others, in energizing their existing members and things of that nature. So I think there's no question that law enforcement, and particularly the FBI, needs to be really focused on this threat right now, because they are likely going to see a resurgence of interest and activity among these extremist groups. The question is whether they and the prosecutors they work with will have the ability to investigate and prosecute those groups, because we now know from the pardons and all the rhetoric around them that there's a lining up here of the ideologies pursued and the policies pursued by this group and the current administration. So are they going to have, are law enforcement officials going to have the bandwidth that they need to have?
Hey, dipshit, McCabe was never fired. You're a dumbass.
To go after these groups? We'll have to see.
And will the FBI director even allow that, or task
That's
it,
right.
devote resources to it? Congressman, you were on the January 6th select.
I had to look it up to be sure, but it was like McCabe wasn't fired.
In the Capitol complex today, and Speaker Johnson launching a new subcommittee to investigate what you did, what he called the false narratives around January 6th.
On the committee, I say this, bring it. I want to be able to talk about this again because there's so much misinformation out there. Everybody says, remember when the Republicans were saying, let's move on from January 6th? I was actually ready to move on from it after the election. I'm like, everybody knew what was going on, and they're not. So fine, let's revisit the 187 minutes. Trump didn't do anything. Can I make another point? So I'm speaking as a Christian here. I saw Speaker Johnson say, we believe...
I don't, girl in the gray.
Dare you use the Bible in this? First off, the big key on redemption is repentance. All these people you just showed, have no repentance.
Yeah.
In fact, they think what they did is right. And look, Pam Hemphill, who actually is rejecting the pardon, she has real repentance for this. And then, by the way, Hunter Biden, who was actually repentant of the things he did, spent 2 years being attacked for political purposes. I mean, don't talk about repentance, Speaker Johnson. Defend this. Go out and defend that there's these criminals on the street now. Do that. I respect if you do it. All these Republicans, go on the record.
Yeah, they say they've been rounding up criminals.
But don't come here with repentance to me.
Congressman, I want to play more of what this guy Lang, who allegedly swung a baseball bat at police during the attack, said last night when he was released.
The very first thing we've got to do is accountability. Accountability is everything right now. There's been nothing that has happened that the Bible tells us that is going to be left covered. We are going to uncover every single nook and cranny of the false January 6th Select Committee, those people that perpetrated the crimes on us on the Capitol grounds that day, the FBI.
The fuck?
Paid little CHS agents and whatnot.
Well, I mean, what does he mean when he says accountability, you think?
Well, I don't know. And that's the thing. Whatever he's
Anonymously, that sounds like one of those Facebook satire. Like, there are so many pages on Facebook that just have, like, Roseanne Barr turns down $30 million to come back and save the Connors. That never fucking happened. So, like, Carrie Underwood suing Joey Behar sounds like one of those things.
As there's people that are thinking something different. Their accountability is whatever they think in their head. He's right. He's right about one thing. The truth does come out, and truth does ultimately win. That's why I'm 100% confident that everybody that's supporting these pardons, everybody that was...
McCabe wasn't fired, you complete fucking dumbass. You're telling me to be honest when you're spouting bullshit. McCabe was not fired. McCain became the acting director of the FBI following James Comey's dismissal by then President Donald Trump and served in that position until Trump's appointment of Christopher Wray. Left of his own accord. Oh no, apparently he had left. Jeff Sessions said he was fired. Settled with the Justice Department for a wrongful termination suit. As part of the settlement, the government agreed to rescind and vacate McCabe's termination and correct its records to reflect that Mr. McCabe was employed continuously by the FBI from July 1996 until he retired on March 19th, 2018 as the FBI Deputy Director in good standing. You are a fucking dumbass. You can't say somebody got fired because some dipshit pulled a political act after the fact. Was not fired. Did you not hear what I just said, you absolute dumb fuck? Now, if you would like me to continue to acknowledge you after I just proved you fucking wrong, you're gonna have to call in, you stupid piece of shit.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Buddy, you're telling me I'll learn. You just learned. You just learned that you're a dumbass.
Was pardoned, and the president himself will go down in history very, very scorned, and the country will be embarrassed by it. You cannot be the party of law and order and say that this kind of thing is okay. So I hope that, every member of the media talking to a Republican member of Congress or the Senate doesn't let them do their little, I got to take a deep look at it, or I don't know the details.
I'm out, Byronic.
Answer and hold them accountable for that. This is a legitimate thing you have to go on the record for.
Donnie, in the online forums and, corners of the...
Buddy, do you understand what I just read to you? He wasn't fired. He sued the DOJ for saying he was fired when he wasn't. You are a dumbass. Now, you said you listened to FBI directors who weren't fired, so listen to this one. You fucking idiot.
the web and out now, I guess, in the halls of power.
Right-wingers are morons.
About this. Among the right.
Yeah, I mean, you no longer have to really go too far deep into the rabbit holes to see this stuff, because obviously Elon Musk now owns X,
as that person embraced him.
We're gonna talk about Elon here in just a second. Before we get to Elon, let's talk about some of the other pardons that were issued to criminals. Remember, this is the... Oh, I didn't realize how long this clip was. I really wanted to listen to Chip Roy be a dipshit. We can't listen to this whole thing. He was going off about the pro-lifers we heard that were pardoned earlier. See if I can find a shorter clip. A lot of abortion groups sharing this out, but not any of them sharing out just a short clip. Yep, God damn it. Once again, pardoning criminals that were harassing women seeking treatment in an abortion clinic. Because the fucking right loves criminals. They'll demonize immigrants. Wasn't fired, retired. The Trump administration lied about him and said that he was fired, sued and won. Do you understand that? Do you understand? Can you admit that you were wrong? Please. I would love to see a right-winger be able to say, yeah, I was wrong about that. Sessions absolutely got fired. I've never seen a right-winger take fucking responsibility when they're proven wrong. Who is foaming at the mouth? You're a dipshit. I'm mocking you for being fucking stupid.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Damn. That's cope. It's cope from right-wingers. Because their entire personality, they don't actually vote for people based on policy. They just want to piss people off that they find annoying. You know, smart people that make them look stupid. They're annoyed by that. So if it pisses smart people off, that's what they're for. Speaking of smart people, the ADL does not have any smart people in it. apparently now condemning Musk's Nazi jokes after the salute controversy. The Anti-Defamation League condemned Elon Musk not for making the Nazi salute. That's the hilarious part. Condemned Elon Musk for making a series of Nazi-related jokes, calling it inappropriate and offensive to make light of the singularly evil Holocaust. Just days earlier, the ADL had defended Musk over an awkward hand gesture he made during an inauguration event that drew comparisons to a Nazi salute, saying all sides should give one another a bit of grace. In the days since, Musk has mocked media outlets and liberals who fanned the controversy, accusing them of dirty tricks campaign to smear him over his support for Trump. On Thursday morning, Musk rattled off a series of puns referencing prominent Nazis like chief propagandist Joseph Goebbels and Heinrich Himmler. Bet you did not see that coming, Musk wrote on X, which is a stupid fucking joke. That one's tired. Making inappropriate, highly offensive jokes that trivialize the Holocaust only serve to minimize the evil and inhumanity of Nazi crimes. It's almost like Musk is a goddamn Nazi. Almost exactly 1 year ago to the day, Musk visited the former Nazi concentration camp in Auschwitz as part of an apology tour for endorsing an anti-Semitic post on Twitter. Now, I bet people like our right-wing friend in the chat have been sharing out pictures of, say, Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris and saying, like, oh, why is it only Elon Musk you're picking on? It's because the pictures that you're sharing out of Elizabeth Warren or Obama, they're not doing a Nazi salute. And I can prove it to you, you dipshits. Here are the raw video clips of the salutes, or waves, gestures that most certainly are not a Nazi salute. Obama waves. Harris is making a point, points with one finger, and drops the palm. Not a Nazi salute. Warren was just waving to the crowd. That's a Nazi salute. Literally turns to a picture of Trump and salutes it. Dude tried to argue with me today, like, how do you know that Elon Musk is a Nazi? I was like, well, I can show you his dad saying their family was a bunch of Nazis. I can show you his daughter saying he's a fucking Nazi. I was like, would you like me to post links? He's like, yeah. So I did. And then he's like, a video on X that he did like an independent. It was an independent article that was quoting Elon's daughter. Would you like to see Earl Musk absolutely say that Elon's family was a bunch of Nazis?
Africa from Canada because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Tesla has lost, like, what, a fourth of its value or something over the last 2 years? Tesla, fucking down. Let's go last 5 years. I guess up over the last 5 years. Down 2% today, down 6 points over the 5 days. 50 points over the last month. I mean, I love that the dude keeps accusing me of like lying as I'm showing the literal fucking data on the screen. In Germany, some German museum took down his picture. An image of Elon Musk making a controversial salute during a speech on Monday was projected onto Tesla's Gigafactory in Berlin. The display featured Musk's gesture along with the words, "Heil Tesla." Green Day was performing in South Africa, taking a shot at Elon Musk, altering their lyrics to American Idiot. I'm not a part of an Elon agenda, Billy Joe Armstrong saying. Do we have a clip of it? Oh, it's not just that part of the song, it's the whole song. I mean, you can't call him an American idiot because he's not American. Fucking migrants in this country. I hate them. They're in here being criminals. We need to deport migrants like Elon Musk. Social network star says he is done defending Mark Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg said that as an actor, his job is to understand your character even if the character is a villain, but things have changed. Jesse Eisenberg will forever be associated with Mark Zuckerberg after earning an Oscar nomination for portraying the Facebook founder and CEO in the 2011 film The Social Network. But after watching who Zuckerberg has become over the past decade and a half, Eisenberg says he's all out of empathy. During a new interview on NPR's Fresh Air, Terry Gross ended a discussion that mostly focused on Eisenberg's latest movie by asking the actor, writer, and director what he thinks when he sees Zuckerberg do something that a lot of people really don't like ending fact-checking on Meta. As an actor, your job is to really understand your character, even if the character is a villain in a movie. Your job is to defend your character. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about this guy and thinking about how he felt like an outcast in the world and created this thing in order to connect with other people because he felt uncomfortable connecting with other people through more traditional social norms. When he was working on The Social Network, Eisenberg said he found Zuckerberg's actions totally defensible. But as he's watched Zuckerberg bend over backwards to appease newly sworn-in President Trump, he wondered if that's really an extension of that same person whose ambition really supersedes their caution in a way that can be pretty dangerous. Ultimately, Eisenberg said he's left feeling a little bit sad, asking, why is this the path you're taking? Because he's a psychopath in a capitalist system, you dipshit. Ultimately, Eisenberg said, and I mostly just think of it this way. This is that same person that I spent a long time humanizing and thinking about and trying to justify and defend his behavior. That's something he's clearly no longer willing to do. Zuckerberg, of course, raising eyebrows this week for taking a peek at Jeff Bezos's fiance's cleavage. After drawing headlines for stealing what appeared to be an inappropriate glimpse at Lauren Sanchez's prominent cleavage during the very serious swearing-in ceremony of President Donald Trump on Monday, Mark Zuckerberg was once again caught looking at his rival tech billionaire fiance's titties. I have a feeling he's saying, man, would I like to give her a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Clearly he thought they were nice. A couple on the other side of the bar are giving you this look. You in the chat saying yes. I know some of you are. You sick fucks.
You live in sexual anarchy.
Espivy, why don't you call in and have a conversation with me? 917-830-4359. You can hop in the Discord. I'm very good at talking people out of being dumb fucks. Energy Flow, good evening. (917-830-4359). I'd love to argue with somebody. Come at me, bro. Yeah, tell Justin he's stupid or call him a libtard. Oh, shit. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on? Oh, man, come on. You don't have the balls to actually talk to me? What the hell? And this is what we call right-wingers fucking morons. Oh, man, you got everybody in the chat so excited. Dumbest fucks walking the planet. I think he said hee hee ha ha. All right, we're going to head to the crime section of the show tonight. We're going to start off tonight with everyone's favorite mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
And now to a major development in the saga of embattled Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. A judge has dismissed her lawsuit, claiming that a caucus that threw her off the ballot was illegal. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been following this case very closely for a very long time. She joins us now with details. Regina.
Marion, it is official. Tiffany Henyard is off the ballot for Thornton Township Supervisor, a role she was appointed to in 2022. Now, today, a Cook County...
How many goddamn city councils and shit is this woman on?
Judge ruled she didn't file her lawsuit properly, and he dismissed it without prejudice, meaning she cannot refile. So I want to take you back to the scene December 3rd. That is when Tiffany Henyard was thrown off the ballot. It was a packed and raucous meeting with an overfull crowd waiting outside. At that time, Henyard called it unfair and illegal. She said none of her supporters were let in to cast a vote. Now, we spoke to elections expert attorney Bert Odelson, who tells us the caucus was legal, and also a Thornton Township resident who says it might have been legal, but it might not have been ethical.
I think that they used some plays out of Tiffany Henyard's own playbook. They booked a venue that was too small to hold everyone who wanted to attend. They seated their own supporters.
Oh, now come on. If you're going to take us away from Tiffany Henyard, you better have something good to say. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol.
Tell libtard Trump is King Kamala Coochie stink like hot dog water.
Oh, man, you guys really suck. Get better material. Seriously, like that's what you're gonna do? I mean, if you're gonna call in, make it good. That's why I get so many fucking right wingers that all they come at me with is, "Oh, you live in your mom's basement. Oh, you're on welfare." Like you're all like pull string dolls. You got nothing original to say. Learn to feel embarrassment. It would save the rest of us a lot of trouble. If you could feel embarrassment, we wouldn't have to put up with your bullshit all the time. You could feel embarrassment. One more try.
You live in your mom's basement on welfare.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Yeah. Of course. I miss back when I had the old couch because I used to like turn around. I was like, my mom would never let me have a couch this ugly. Oh shit. All right, that was funny. Okay, we're gonna go to the serious shit now. The next couple of stories are hard to swallow. Especially this next one's very graphic. 288-page diary describes Antioch school shooters' plan to kill at least 10 people. The 288-page diary, beginning on October 18th, tracks 17-year-old Solomon Henderson's thoughts as he planned his attack and suggests he began spiraling emotionally. An online diary apparently kept by the Antioch high school shooter shows he idolized some of the world's most notorious mass murderers and had a goal of killing at least 10 people to establish his own place among them, according to a document reviewed by News Channel 5. The 288-page diary, beginning on October 18th, tracks 17-year-old Solomon Henderson's thoughts as he planned his attack and suggests he began spiraling emotionally as he got closer to his target date. In the end, he describes feeling rushed as he began to experience fear of being feted before doing anything. That is an apparent reference to being busted by police. The document... Oh, feted! Oh, okay. The document, which contains multiple selfie photos of Henderson, was captured by independent researchers not long after Wednesday's deadly shooting. It was posted in a form that could be edited and had been vandalized, but researchers were able to restore what appears to have been the original. Metro Nashville police have not confirmed the authenticity of the document. Screenshots included within the document show that Henderson had an Twitter account that was twice suspended for violating rules that prohibits posts glorifying the perpetrators of violent acts. Henderson appears to describe an incident where authorities almost caught him with a gun. "I had my house raided once. They found a gun. It was mine. My dad took the blame. My dad, he's cool. I hate my mother, though." The dad needs to be prosecuted. There are extended notations about how he might build a bomb. On December 12th, Henderson posted that he had purchased shrapnel and included photos of a nails, tacks, and braids kit. Henderson accuses his mother of being abusive, claiming that when I was 7 or 9, she put a gun to my head, saying she could take me out. He describes other forms of alleged abuse and says he reported it to his father, who pretended nothing was happening. Those allegations cannot be independently confirmed. He contemplates killing his parents, especially his mother. "I should just go with my gun and shoot her while she sleeps in her bed before 0 day. Maybe I should set up bombs near JFK Middle School and Elementary School near my house as a diversion to delay the police. I don't think I can kill my family." Among the photos posted by Henderson are selfies where he poses with an image of Adolf Hitler and where he has his fingers shaped in a white power symbol. There are also photos of him wearing a t-shirt for a neo-Nazi band, and he includes photos as he contemplates what kind of shirt he wants to wear for the shooting. This is a picture of our alleged shooter. On his first entry on October 18th, Henderson writes, "I'm burning with hate. Hate will change the world. Race mixing is a sin against God. Only the ill mentally will praise me after my death, and the only good N-word is a dead N-word, which includes me. I wish I was white." Called himself worthy of the self-hating N-word award. November 8th, he contemplates the best time to carry out a school shooting as potentially being around lunchtime. And he talks about the sometimes heavy police presence at school. So many fucking R words at my school making threats, which increases security, aka more pig guards. I wish I could talk to these clowns and teach them how to actually plan an attack. An entry on January 1st shows he's describing whether to commit the shooting when he is 17 or wait until he's 18 to get better equipment like GoPro and better guns. The next day, there is this entry, "Everything is faster approaching. It's weird knowing that I may or may not be dying this year." That was posted next to an image from a movie that depicts a shooting in a school cafeteria. On January 3rd, "I can't do this anymore, though I'm slipping. I can't keep walking through the same days in the same rooms. I can't keep taking the same drugs, having the same dreams. I can't keep hating the same people. I can't smile at the same faces. I'm so tired, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep waking up to the same house. I can't keep trying the same things to trick myself into wanting this. I can't keep trying to want this. I can't keep trying to want to live. I've never wanted to live. I never will. I can't keep coming on here and whining." Then on January 16th, there is this entry. "The shooting will happen next Thursday. This is a complete failure and not the original plan. Due to my incompetence, the law and family issues." On January 21st, which would have been the day before the shooting, Henderson added a selfie of himself in what appears to be a junior ROTC uniform. "Tomorrow is the day," the entry reads. "I was planning on Thursday, but I need to speed things up. I don't have a lot of time. Holy shit, I'm nervous. I'm scared and excited at the same time." He noted that he was scared of failing to kill myself than going to jail. One of the last entries is another selfie with the caption, "4 hours to go." But Gary, he's spouting off the same shit all you right-wingers say, you dumb fuck. This is what happens when you get infected with the woke mind virus, as the dude spouts off Nazi bullshit. Holy fuck. Dumbest fucks walking the planet.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Once again, I'm going to give advice to the kids out there. I have waited all day to do this story with you guys because I can't wait to see what kind of reaction you guys have to it. Last night, Officers in San Antonio responded to a call of a suicide, and one after the other was shot. 7 cops in total were shot one by one.
Thursday, thank you for watching News 4 San Antonio at noon. I'm David Chancellor. New at noon today, we are finding out more about the case of 7 police officers who were shot last night and then early this morning. They were shot by a guy who barricaded himself inside of an apartment over out in Stone Oak. News 4's Christina De Leon has more now on the suspect and updates on the officer's injuries.
That's what I'm saying, Flash.
Area taped off as crime scene investigators process the scene. You can still
was the suspect doing the thing where like they're luring people in? What is it? Is it Full Metal Jacket where the sniper is like shooting the guy and they're trying to like they shot him in the leg in order to try to get somebody else to come over and get him, and then they shot that guy?
The first floor apartment gutted with the windows blown out. The body of the suspect still inside as the medical examiner just arriving to take that body. Now we want to show you the mugshot just into our newsroom of the 46-year-old suspect. His name is Brandon Scott Paulos. Now, police tell us it was his mother who called officers saying that he was suicidal about 8:30 last night. She was able to leave the apartment when the first officer got here. He was immediately shot. Once other officers responded, they too were shot. We're learning in all 7 officers were hit either by gunfire or shrapnel. One was hit in the leg, another in the elbow, another officer was hit in the cheek. SWAT officers were called in and evacuated neighboring apartments, and at one point even threw lots of tear gas canisters inside. Now, during a press briefing last night with the police chief, here's what he said about what happened next.
The suspect was found to be deceased. We don't know if he was shot by a self-inflicted wound or whether or not he was shot by SWAT officers.
Now, ultimately, an autopsy will have to determine that. Police tell us that this suspect had 3 prior arrests, 2 for assault offenses. We're learning it's assaulting his wife, violating a protective order, and a DWI. He was out of jail on bond at the time. We're also finding out that those officers who were shot have been on the department from anywhere between 4 to 8 years. They will be assigned to administrative duty pending the outcome of this investigation, but obviously a very serious situation as police continue to investigate. On the north side, I'm Christina De Leon. We will send it back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you. Several witnesses watched all of this unfold and actually recorded it on their
Yeah, we've got some video.
One man where you can actually see the gunshots being fired. News 4's Tawny Davis continues our team coverage from inside that apartment complex on what that scene is like now.
We are here inside the apartment complex where it's been quiet for a few hours now. Only a few police cars remain, but that was obviously not the case last night leading into early morning. Dozens of officers, including SWAT, ran down on the Santera Heights apartment complex, along with witnesses capturing video of the entire situation. Now, one witness we spoke with, Joseph Laredo, lives at the apartment complex. This is his video you're seeing right now on your screen. Laredo saw the whole thing unfold right from his balcony and even caught it on camera. He explained how his mom was the first one to hear the shots, and when he heard more is when he decided to record.
I told my mom, I was like, hey, those are gunshots. And it sounded really close, like really close. So, me being nosy and all, I kind of just like walked out my apartment and just to see what the noise was, and they're already bringing SWAT out right now, right? I looked outside, and by the time I went outside, I saw one of SAPD, one of their officers was had been shot. It looked like he got a leg wound because they were putting a tourniquet on him.
Another woman spoke with us saying she only recently moved to these apartments. She said that
it was just a flesh wound.
Is mostly a quiet one and was shocked about last night's shooting. She hopes the officers who were injured come out okay.
It's awful. It's really awful. You know, that's they're protecting us, and it's just awful that something like this happens to them. Anybody, whether it be an officer, a resident, anybody, it's awful.
You can see here how they have blocked off this area where it all happened, and they continue, crime scene unit, to document this entire scene. We will continue to follow this and give you the latest updates both on air and online. I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
All right, Tawny, thanks. I thought that woman said it best. They're protecting us, and this is awful.
I'm not scared of you. I would destroy you in a debate. You don't have the balls to actually debate me. One more time, you want to call in? Can you actually muster a comment? Call back. But we'll see who's actually scared, because you're not going to talk to me. Hey, dipshit, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
What is the difference between Batman and Black Man? Batman goes outside at night.
See, you're a scared little child. Nobody gives a shit about you. You should learn to feel embarrassment. It would save the rest of us a hell of a lot of time. Got some insane footage from a gas station where a woman was held at gunpoint. Video shows a man threatening to blow her head off.
This evening, a 60-year-old North Carolina man is behind bars in Marion County after he was caught on camera threatening a woman at gunpoint. The video you see there, this happened right outside of a busy gas station on Indy's northeast side.
Yeah, tonight, Fox 59's Jesse Wells is talking with the man who recorded that video, and he joins us now to explain.
No, Avalon.
Jesse.
Luckily, no one was seriously injured.
Once again, mods, if they don't violate TOS, if they're not going to get me taken off of Twitch, no. No, do not time them out. Do not ban them. I am against that. I know they can be annoying and everything, but if you want to just do the news, just tell me, please.
During the armed confrontation here in this gas station parking lot behind me, but witnesses hope the crime.
You can ban him now.
Everyone to settle their conflicts without picking up a firearm.
Overhearing an argument Tuesday night outside a speedway at 56th and Emerson, a witness started recording a fight on...
No, motherfucker, I'm not a snowflake. I'm daring you to fucking call in. You're the snowflake. You can't say shit in my chat that'll get me taken off of Twitch. That's like the only rule I have, and then you obviously try to violate it. You're a dumbass. Goodbye. See ya. Thank you, Avalon.
On his phone between a woman sitting in her car and a man standing next to her door.
Hey, bro! Hey!
Multiple witnesses began yelling for help after the man pulled out a gun and violently pointed the weapon at the victim's head.
She didn't do anything to show signs of aggression, so he definitely took it to the extreme.
Kevin Edwards recorded the fight and watched the armed suspect repeatedly threaten to shoot the woman at point-blank range.
That was completely unnecessary to pull a firearm.
I don't know why you're pointing your gun like you're a cop or something.
The suspect, 60-year-old Mark White, held the woman at
wow
as they argued for several more minutes until police arrived.
That's why I was saying on the recording, who the hell does this guy think he is, you know?
Once on scene, officers arrested White for intimidation and battery with a deadly weapon, as well as criminal recklessness.
That's all?
Violation. According to court records, the argument started after White honked his horn several times at the victim, who was sitting at one of the gas pumps. The woman admitted she did have a gun, but she never pointed it at the suspect.
Hey, man, don't do that, man. Get off her, man.
Kevin says he's just relieved no shots were ever fired.
I'm just glad that could have been worse. I would sleep better.
Fuck the cops. That is attempted murder. That is terroristic threatening. That's all you charged him with? Are you fucking kidding me? They have it on video. Once again, the fucking cops suck.
Tonight, if just one person would realize that you have so much to lose and it can happen so fast. So just think about your actions before you make them.
Finally, the suspect is being held on a $30,000 bond pending the filing of formal.
Yep, Joey, that's it.
Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
Jesse, thank.
And you're not going to see that story on Fox News talking about how, like, oh, there's so much crime in the Democratic cities. I was kind of expecting him to be an ex-cop. 30 grand bond, master. Good evening, Bagheera, you dumb fuck. Glad to see you, friend. In the chat saying dumb fuckery. Oh, shit. It's been deadly cold in the South the last few days. I know this for a fact. Sitting in my own apartment, I could see my own breath, and it was horrible. The death of an unhoused man in Atlanta, sparking outrage at the Atlanta City Council.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Right now, Atlanta City Council members meeting for the first time since the death of Cornelius Taylor. Protesters say he was killed by a City of Atlanta bulldozer during an encampment cleanup last week.
And they shared their concerns with us outside. Then they marched into City Hall for nearly 2 hours of public comment.
And that is where we find 11 Alive's Grace King tonight. Grace, what was their message today?
The protesters want city leaders to know that what happened to Cornelius Taylor is unacceptable and that their policies need to change to ensure this can't happen again. They walked into City Hall asking a number of questions, like why no one checked this tent, whether heavy machinery was necessary, and if the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. holiday had anything to do with the timing of this cleanup.
This man was run over by a street.
Holy shit!
Because you all were too ashamed for that area for people to see on Dr. King's Day. Have mercy. You gotta be kidding me.
Seriously?
Just moments ago, Councilwoman Liliana Bakhtiari shared her plans to ban street sweeps until they understand the process better.
We will not allow an employee to be scapegoated for this. We need to understand what happened. So be calling for that, and I do have a paper today calling for a moratorium on all sweeps until we understand.
Fucking wow.
Funding and more resources to homelessness outreach in.
Yeah, that's once again a problem with me not watching these things beforehand, not knowing what the story is. I assumed it was the weather. It was far worse. And on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Tonight, Grace, what was their message?
Rad dude, good evening. Thank you for being a freaking follower.
The protesters want city leaders to know that what happened to Cornelius Taylor is unacceptable and that their policies need to change to ensure this can't happen again. They walked into City Hall asking a number of questions, like why no one checked this tent, whether heavy machinery was necessary, and if the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. holiday had anything to do with the timing of this cleanup.
This man was run over by a street sweeper.
It wasn't a street sweeper.
You all were too ashamed for that area for people to see.
It's like a fucking bulldozer.
Have mercy. You gotta be kidding me.
Just moments ago, Councilwoman Liliana Bakhtiari shared
Front loader, yes. I was trying to think of the
until they understand the process better.
exact word.
We will not allow
The proper terminology.
for this. We need to understand what happened. So be calling for that, and I do have a paper today calling for a moratorium on all sweeps until we understand.
She's also calling for more funding and more resources to homelessness outreach in East Atlanta. They hope they can come up with a better solution so that something like this can't happen again. Live at Atlanta City Hall, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
All right, Grace, thank you for that update tonight.
This story as well is also going to be a story that my chat specifically is going to love. Is everybody ready to hell Satan? You ready to hell Satan? I guess I'll hit the content warning. Because it may be triggering to some people.
I was like, like what? When I saw that, I was like, like what's the message here?
prophecy?
This is the first time we've had anything like this in this neighborhood.
Or prank?
It's so weird.
That's what folks in this Carrollton neighborhood off of Hebron are trying to figure out. On Saturday night, an unknown man approached a family's doorstep wearing a satanic mask, holding a sign that reads Revelation 20, verses 1 through 15. Passages that depict the apocalypse in Christianity and eternal judgment. Followers ascend to heaven, the condemned thrown into a lake of fire. Heavy stuff.
I was a little rattled that night, I will say that.
The footage shared to Nextdoor, where neighbor Scott Guerin watched it.
You know, that's the kind of stuff you would, see at Halloween, but it's got to be scary.
And so did Gloria Johns. The man not just approaching the family's front door, he walked behind their home and stood in front of a driveway camera too.
To the homeowners who captured this footage, they filed a police report, but understandably so, they didn't want to do an interview with us because they are on edge. They've lived here for decades, don't know who this person is or what their
could be a good Christian.
Carrollton police telling me they're not aware so far of this person being on anyone else's doorbell cameras, and that this person hasn't committed a crime. For them to be considered trespassing, they have to bypass a barrier like a fence, ignore verbal warnings, or stay on the property after being told to leave. Nonetheless, they're monitoring the situation to ensure public safety. A spokesperson saying, "We encourage residents to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to police."
We do mostly know each other, and they're all very nice, so yeah.
After spotting a stranger like this, that's what folks here plan to do. In Carrollton, I'm Matt Howerton.
What was this, Carrollton, Kentucky? Is that where this occurred? Carrollton, Texas. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's in Texas. Yeah, you probably don't want to go door to door in Texas. People in Chicago are in an uproar over a controversial puppet. Maybe his name is Franklin, and he makes a lot of racial jokes.
The art exhibit called Potential Energy Chicago Puppets Up Close is on full display at Chicago's Cultural Center. The free public exhibit includes a controversial puppet the majority of City Council wants gone. 27 alders signed on to a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson, spearheaded by Alderwoman Deborah Silverstein.
I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but I think this crosses the line into hate.
Silverstein and her colleagues call this puppet anti-Semitic and anti-American. The two-sided protest puppet shows a bloodied Uncle Sam on one side and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Nope, not anti-Semitic.
The wood bases use the words children killers and murderers.
This puppet is a protest puppet that was used in protest actions in Chicago, protesting the war in Gaza, and it was created by local artists.
Blair Thomas is the founder of the Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival. His organization is financially sponsoring the Cultural Center exhibit.
I think it's anti-Semitic.
Art, an anti-war puppet. He says the curators decided to use it because protest puppetry is part of Chicago history.
I can understand, the request for the removal of it, but
I can't.
That it's an important thing to display. I don't think it's exhibiting any language that is overtly anti-Semitic.
It's not.
The Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events agreed to remove the display's title, U.S.-Israel War Machine, and replace it
Why?
with a sensitive content warning.
Bullshit. Oh, now come on. The wokes have gone too far.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
And it's never our side fucking censoring people. It's always idiotic right-wingers. Some dumb liberals.
The Johnson administration over anti-Semitism.
This has been a reoccurring theme, and I'm getting tired of having to speak out against it. It would be nice if the mayor's office would learn. He has alienated the entire Jewish community.
Alderwoman Silverstein says that some of her colleagues plan to hold a hearing to call the city's Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events Commissioner to ask her how the city vets art exhibits in public buildings.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC.
It had a good message. I'm sorry to offend you that Benjamin Netanyahu is doing a genocide. I can't help that. A man from Oregon accused of impersonating a firefighter in California.
The LA County DA's office has filed charges against 2 suspects for impersonating firefighters in the Palisades fire area.
31-year-old Dustin Nell and 44-year-old Jennifer Nell, both from Oregon, are accused of driving their own fire truck through the evacuation zones last week. Police pulled them over when they noticed that their fire truck did not appear to be legitimate. The suspects were wearing CAL FIRE t-shirts and helmets while claiming to be with a non-existent fire department in Oregon. This comes as dozens of people have been charged with various crimes in connection with the wildfires.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC.
Bagheera, Trump did not manage a ceasefire. He told Netanyahu to stop for the inauguration, then he could fucking level Gaza afterwards. Literally the deal he made. So much for being the anti-war president, right? God damn, you people are fucking gullible. Stop being gullible. Stop being gullible. Footage from the Eaton fire. Wild footage. I'm assuming they're dumping either the retardant, some sort of water. Several other brush fires popping up today. That's the fire we covered last night. Let's get an update on everything that's gone on.
The Eaton and Palisades fires are bracing for the possibility of mudslides and debris flow down hillsides.
Fox 11's Ashley Rodriguez live from Santa Monica with details on how they're preparing. Ashley.
Hey, so as you drive along the PCH, you're going to notice a lot of areas like this one behind me, homes that have been utterly decimated. And the concern is once the rain hits, all that water is going to push the debris, blocking the road and into the ocean. Now, you notice this area has fencing up, but that's not the case everywhere, especially as you get into the hills. And with little more than 24 hours until the rain hits, residents are growing concerned. Oscar McGraw manages a property that once had a picturesque view of the Pacific. He never considered whether the rubble left behind after the Palisades fire would poison it.
The biggest issue, I think, for all of Malibu and the coast is the hazardous stuff that's going to get washed into the ocean. That's probably of top priority right now.
Charred metal, warped plastics, and an array of potentially carcinogenic materials sit in the ash on the Pacific Palisades hilltops. And without any vegetation or structures to act as a dam against the impending rain flow, the worry is the runoff will contaminate ocean water.
We had mudslides last year when we had all the rain, without all the fire and the devastation. So, yeah, I am kind of concerned about that.
Homeowner Carrie Galpin tells me she's thankful her home survived, but she's afraid falling mud and boulders will block the only access road to her property. Meanwhile, swiftly moving wet debris, rocks, and dirt could shift the foundation of homes surrounded by scorched cliffs.
You'll see K-rail being established to protect these areas.
By Thursday, Fox 11 found K-rails being installed along the PCH in Malibu. Both Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass issued emergency orders to shore up the hillsides.
You know, I think the one slight good news is maybe the rain's going to be fairly light. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting much.
But as soon as we get a major storm, that's a whole different story.
So I reached out to DPW to find out when more fencing is going to go up and when, and they did not respond back to me. But they have said in the past that if you're concerned, you can always call them and have an inspector come out to evaluate it. They did warn, though, that if you live in a home that has a slope behind it, you should not be inside that home this weekend. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Let's hope that people heed that warning. All right, Ashley Rodriguez reporting for us. Thanks so much.
Masterly, it is in the Constitution. It has already been challenged and held up by a judge. If it goes to the Supreme Court, basically the right-wing argument is that the 14th Amendment only applied to slaves. So if it goes to the Supreme Court, they could adopt that interpretation of it, that the 14th Amendment only applied to slaves and that there is no birthright citizenship. We heard from a constitutional scholar last night, and we heard from Keith Ellison in Minnesota. That's one of the attorneys general bringing the suit. Ellison said it's a slam dunk. Anybody who, any judge that looks at this knows what the Constitution says. I just, do the Republican appointees respect the Constitution? Bagheera, I know the propaganda you watch has told you to call him new scum. I know the propaganda you watch has told you that he is incompetent. You don't know shit about what is going on in California. I'm out, guys. I wish I could. I wish I could smoke with you. Also, I had somebody tell me this is what one-party rule in California does. Boy, were they shocked to find out. Yes, Julie, thank you. Smoke one for me. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, they were the person that I was arguing with was shocked to find out that in the last 40 years, California's had a Republican governor more than it's had a Democratic governor. Gotta love that. Please take some hits for me, my lord. A wall of ice the size of Rhode Island, which is not a real state. It doesn't exist. It's a fictional state from the TV show Family Guy. Wall of ice the size of Rhode Island heading towards a penguin-packed island off of Antarctica. The world's biggest iceberg, a wall of ice the size of Rhode Island, is lumbering towards a remote island off of Antarctica that's home to millions of penguins and seals. The trillion-ton slab of ice, called a megaberg, could slam into South Georgia Island and get stuck or be guided around it by currents. If it gets stuck, it could make it hard for penguin parents to feed their babies, and some young could even starve. Overall, however, researchers aren't too worried about the major harm from the iceberg. Named A23A. There is Antarctica. Is that the tip of Africa? No, that's the tip of South America. I'm trying to orient myself on where this is on the map. So that's the tip of South America. This is the tip of Antarctica right here. This is iceberg A23A. 50 square miles, apparently. Really? Rhode Island is only 50 square miles? That seems kind of small. Just the tip. Never believe anybody when they tell you it's just the tip. Oh my God, Bagheera. By climate extremists, he means, scientists, people that know what they're talking about. Listen to the propaganda that Bagheera tells you that he's spouting from Fox News or the Daily Wire. Don't listen to actual scientists. Julie, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Let's take a live shot. I think this is out of Australia. I think this is where this is going on. Oh, it's not live anymore. It was on for 11 hours. Yeah, Sydney, Australia. This is the corpse flower. It apparently smells like a rotting carcass. That's why it's called the corpse flower. Sydney's Putricia, the corpse flower. To the scientific community, the Botanic Gardens of Sydney's corpse flower is known as Amorphophallus titanum, which translates to large deformed penis. This is the first time a corpse flower has bloomed at the Royal Botanic Garden in 15 years. When they do blossom, they last just 24 to 48 hours. Smells like a rotting corpse. Is this the bloom? Is this what it looks like when it's bloomed? Like this part opens up? This is an 11-hour live feed of the flower. I'm not impressed. Once again, I'm a man of the people, and I know what the people want, and I haven't given you what you wanted for several days.
We're doing traffic, and we're also doing some gymnastics. Right there, you've got somebody that's going to be a suspect from a earlier pursuit, still on the run, but now on his feet. Whoa, look at that. Guy's just jumping over stuff.
You'll get a car chase, unfortunately.
Let's take a little bit of a look at traffic. I don't want to stop looking.
Chris Christie is excited.
Man, talk about a morning workout. Whoa, look at him.
Foot chase.
This is like he's doing parkour.
Two cats. This guy is hardcore for sure. Up now, maybe he's taking a little bit of a rest right there.
What area
Either
is this?
that or maybe he had to tie his shoe. I'm not really sure. But the sheriff's department there definitely want to speak to that guy. This is a pursuit that came to an end.
Oh, they want to speak to him, eh?
Right near the 91 freeway. It was a motorcycle pursuit, and now maybe he slowed down a little.
What'd I do this time?
The screen. But the sheriff's department definitely out here. They're keeping an eye on it. Hopefully he doesn't try to get into anybody's home. I think that's the biggest concern that is going on right here. There you go. You got the sheriff's units all in this area. I should have showed you that to begin with. Made it look like he was just out there on a run and nobody knew where he was. Deputies all in this area. This was a pursuit. We're going to do a quick 90.
Yeah, they got him.
Take a look at that.
They got him pretty well blocked off.
Moving along pretty well. The 91 freeway. If that's your drive through the Bellflower area, they don't have any off ramps closed, but you might see some helicopter activity as you get near the Bellflower off-ramp. I'm Stu up in Sky Fox. Back to you on the studio.
All right, Stu, thank you. And, of course, everybody.
Oh, is that not Chris Christie?
For an update.
Who the fuck is Stu?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
apprehension of this gentleman.
Which will hopefully be happening soon.
Yeah.
It looks like they're searching backyards with flashlights and...
Seems like they've definitely surrounded that area.
Yeah, I mean, the concern is you don't want him going into any of these homes, obviously.
He's already been in their backyards, but yeah, you don't want him going into the interior of the house. What a
I mean,
always fascinating situation at the end of these pursuits.
That is their biggest concern. Dylan, if you can do a little bit of an orbit, maybe we could get a little bit of a better look. So yeah, clearly the deputies are, I was going to say watching a Fox app, but they've gotten their information from that helicopter that just went through our shot. The sheriff's helicopter, probably seeing the same thing that we were. This is that last location. That's going to be the corner of Palm and Apple. Deputies are here. If he did make his way inside that home, they're definitely going to get inside there as well. Make sure that.
Seriously, is this not Chris Christie? It sounds like him.
Last known location for that suspect that we just saw do that run.
Does he go by Stewart when he's on Fox?
Pursuit.
Instead of ABC?
There he is. He's underneath the trees, coming back over this way. He's going to be in the bushes right there, but you can see the deputies' lights coming on, the flashlights. Oh, hopefully he's not trying to get into the backyard. But yeah, he's that. Right there he goes. He's going over the wall again.
Oh,
boy, this guy can move, can't he? Yep, just squatting down. You got a homeowner right there.
Please go back in
now
there.
he just jumped back over this wall. My goodness, you know the strength and agility this guy has got.
I know.
I mean, I've said it in the past. I'm getting tired just watching this guy jumping around. But at any rate, yeah, he just made his way over. There he is. You know, eventually he's going to go into custody. The sheriff's ship sees him. I just hope it doesn't turn. Oh, look at that.
I don't know.
Camouflage action going on there.
Wow.
I'm just a door. Nothing here.
It's like where's Waldo?
It really is.
Because I don't even see him.
Is he behind?
He's behind the door.
Oh, he's behind.
Yeah, he's behind this. You can see him kind of popping out right there.
Oh, there he is.
Pulling a trash can
hey,
or
guy,
some
you
kind
can't
of bag
hide from
there as well.
Skyfox.
Are you serious?
Nope. No, I mean, my old nickname, my old hashtag was Sky Snitch, and I'm kind of living up to it.
Wow.
The deputies are moving around. I'm sure the deputies in the helicopter see him as well. But the problem is they don't want to kind of just rush up on him with their weapons out. They don't want to have any kind of confrontation. They want to be at a distance, call this guy out, and have him come into custody, have him come to them. But
is he gonna move?
Hide right there behind it. But it looks like now
he's not hiding very well.
A door from a water heater, like an outdoor water heater. I'm concerned about that resident that was just kind of walking around out
She
there.
was like right out front. Okay, he's on the move again.
Is he?
Look at that. He's got his little shield going on.
Is he hiding behind the door like a shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. There he goes. He put it down. Back on the run again.
Okay, now where are we going?
Amazing.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's one of those. We get to watch this today and see this, but the deputies and law enforcement, for them, this is almost routine.
Right.
Which to me sometimes you just go, this is what you do all day.
Can you imagine if you're somebody at home watching us and watching somebody?
He's in your backyard.
That's my neighbor.
Yeah. That's my neighbor. That's my backyard.
That's
he just
your
keeps
neighbor.
on climbing these
going over another fence. I'm just going a little wider to get the names of the streets. That's going to be Palm. Palm right near the.
Keep going, dude. Go to that parking lot.
91. Looks like.
Oh, he's hiding again.
Nope, he's over here.
Nope.
Is he in between the fence and the house?
I believe so.
Yeah, there he goes, going over another
one.
wall.
He's hopping another one. Boy, the endurance on this man.
I
this
know.
is mystifying.
Agility.
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of cops over there.
Cardio that this guy does probably every day. It's
what
just
if he
amazing.
was a former gymnast?
Probably. So now
he keeps pulling up his pants.
Gymnast.
Oh my God, he doesn't have a belt on.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I always see still in these situations. Do you really think you're gonna get away?
I know, especially because he had
yes.
helicopters over.
Oh no.
Okay, whoever's in that house.
I saw a door, and he went inside there. I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a utility door or a door to a garage.
Oh no.
It might
is that an apartment or a condo building? It looks
like a house.
Or is it a house?
They all look like single family. They all out here. Maybe
he'd almost made it over to like what looked like a shopping center.
Definitely one.
That's where I was thinking he would go to.
Like a shed that they built like for storage outside, because the door was open and he just ran in there. And I don't think anybody has their door open.
They're so close. The officers, you see them right there.
Can we park right in here, Dylan? Slow it up. Yeah. So we'll kind of keep this shot right there. And again, the deputies are getting the same information from their helicopter. I don't know why they're not going around to the back.
Well, if they had downloaded
Dylan,
the Fox Local app, they would know exactly where he was.
Huh?
If they download the Fox Local app,
Okay.
they would know exactly where he was. This is frustrating to watch, I'm going to be honest, because they're, like Melvin said, they are so very close.
Yeah, okay, we're going to pause on this.
Right, and
everybody.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, I just found out that they're not talking to us. The deputies, I guess they're busy right now. I understand that. So the helicopter not communicating with Skyfox, but we definitely have eyes on them. Hopefully, one of somebody from the sheriff's department.
You're trying to snitch.
Deputies know in the helicopter are on the ground.
Incompetent cops yet again.
Spot. The door's still there.
Oh.
There he goes. He's kind of checking it out. Maybe he'll get out on the run again.
I think we got
it. Maybe. I think he was just checking. He's kind of peeking around.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Stu. We just have to take a short break, and we're going to come right back, everybody. We're going to monitor this situation. We'll see you in just a little bit.
The cops are in the totally wrong side. Oh, no! No! I want the rest of this. Damn it, Fox. That was this morning. Looking for the... I'm not seeing a second video. Damn it. And I'm not seeing any update. Oh shit, I hope he got away. Ah, fucking fuck. Let me try, I'll try KTLA, see if they had it this morning. Doesn't look like it. It looks like all they've got is fire coverage. Oh, nuts. All right, Twitch people, I'm going to hang out for a little bit. We're not going to listen to music. We're actually going to watch a TV show because I was, I watched a video essay on one of my old favorite shows. I was like, God damn it, you're making me want to watch this show. So this is how you stop a cat from getting off your porch if you have slats in your porch. Perfect little life hack. You want to let your kitty go outside. Don't want them to get through the slats. Thwarted indeed. Do you know when I got up this morning and made coffee, do you know who was outside? You know who was outside my door? That little baby girl wanting to come in, eat my kitty's food again. You know who went outside and fed it? I know. You guys are all going to tell me I've got a fourth cat now, but I can't let her in. Like, she would need to be, taken to the vet. She'd need to be flea bathed, all that good shit. And I do not have the resources. Also, 4 fucking cats. I can't have 4 cats. too many cats. But I will gladly feed that baby. But I don't think she's going hungry either because she's fat. She fat as fuck. So I don't think she no. It's not like she's not being fed. The neighbors are definitely taking care of her. And then she's getting treats and fed from me too. So yeah, Twitch people, stick around. We're gonna watch a few episodes of a fantastic TV show. We'll pick back up. I watched like 8 episodes, like before the show. I really didn't want to stop watching it. We're gonna watch this TV show. Then I'll send you over to Cults and Satanic Panic. So YouTube people, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before we hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow.